are you guys?
We're you, dude!
You're metal, dude!
Dudes!
Deliberating. Delivering. Delivering.
Dogfish.
Deliberating.
Dogfish. I'm the dude.
1 minute, dude.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Lion, dogfish, pony soldier. You said you were, but now you gotta be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you.
3, 2, 1, fight!
Who are you guys?
We're you, dude!
Tonight's stream brought to us by, does that say benadryl?
We are so excited to announce tonight's new sponsor.
Our sponsor tonight is going to be an ad read by the Ozembic god of war. His name is Thor. He is Viking. He's a Viking.
You want me to bring up the clip?
Are you Wayne or are you Garth in this situation? I know we told that joke on our stream when Wayne McCroy joined us, so we were all Wayne in that situation, and
we are all.
And last night was the culmination of many months of badgering and begging and pleading anyone to come and debate us, and accepting every debate that we were invited to. And now we got to talk about it.
Oh, I'm on a bend. I was on a bender. I did a couple debates back to back all night, and I am whooped.
What the hell you did that for?
Well, as you said, we're trying to build up our debate. You got to take your lumps, and you got to get yourself out there, and then you start getting the thing. And so we got to get ourselves out there and take the lumps and give out some lumps. And Bubba, stop, dude.
Lumps are those lovely lady bumps. What is a lump?
Yeah. Martae has lovely lady bumps, and he greases them up. They're shiny.
Hey man, don't pick on Martae. He had a condition yesterday that he was trying to treat.
Yeah, allergies? Is he allergic to masculinity? I couldn't figure out what the allergy. What was the need for benadryl?
He's allergic to good arguments.
Okay. All right. So when Martae took the benadryl, it should have been Rob taking the thing to slow him down and put him at human speed. He was talking at superhuman speed, thinking he was Republican Superman.
You can always tell the people that don't really have a good argument when they're talking at Ben Shapiro's speed and saying fucking nothing.
So if he had an entry theme song, it would be.
He was talking about him in a Destiny debate recently, and Destiny also talks extraordinarily fast. I wonder, like, if you put their debate on double. I've not seen it, but if you played it and then put it on double, I gotta wonder what that sounds like. Like, you
sounds
probably
like
actually get like demons to come.
Yeah, if you took the Chipmunks Christmas album and then just like scratched it backwards.
So who is this stripper? Who's a stripper named Destiny?
I mean, half of them. I don't know. Let's call up Shotgun Willies right now. Hey, can I speak to Destiny? And they'll be like, which one?
The one with blue hair, they'd be like, which one?
Which one? The one with the thigh bruises. Which one?
Savannah Destiny? Laquisha Destiny? What flavor of Destiny do you want, sir?
The one that's gacked out. Which one?
The gagged
Right.
out
Oh, the one that used to
Destiny?
call herself Mercedes. All right, you're gonna have to be way more specific. Jesus, dude, who do you want to talk to?
The one named after the whiskey drink.
Oh, Tennessee Destiny.
Tennessee.
Oh, she doesn't work on Tuesdays.
Okay. She's off on Tuesdays. All right. All right. Well, I guess we'll have to do it on Wednesday then.
So
Kinda
what we're
growing
alluding
man-
to,
what
in
kinda
case you
growing
guys
man
missed it
names
last
yourself?
night, is that Ben and I were on Sarah the Raging Tomatoes channel. We were debating Rob Arnar and Martae, who's been on this show.
Courageously has been on this show, and courageously fought again.
And look, it was a very goofy prompt.
What was the prompt?
It was definitely a goofy prompt.
Keen.
You know, the prompt was, who's worse for society, George Floyd or Destiny? Worded in a way that our opponents really tried to hone in on, but failed to in every aspect of it. And that's okay. It's okay with their failures. We're not mad at them for that, or for not being able to prepare an argument that was beyond a second grade reading level for mouth breathing liberals. We're not mad at them for that. In fact, we thank them for that because it made our job so much easier and way more fun.
Yeah, when you come in prepared to box a retarded child and find a beast standing there, it just sucks for you. You didn't train right.
Yeah.
Comments said by the Hollow Pros perspective that it was like arguing with stomach cancer about whether or not kidney cancer is worse than my liver cancer.
Yeah. No, that was a funny comment.
Hilarious debate prop. Both horrible people.
Continue to comment.
As far as I'm concerned, though, they, we can only be so proud because they definitely took a prompt. I don't see how they could have won. Like, you would have had to have been fighting retarded liberals to win that.
What you would have had is the totally disingenuous argument that they tried to bring, where you can only incorporate one element of a person and you have to ignore everything else in order for their thing to fit. Like, they had to have their cake, eat it too, which again I know is what Rob is used to, but in ordinary circumstances, like, real conversations don't work that way. So within the confines of YouTube debate, they really did probably think that they could walk in and stomp out anyone with, subpar rudimentary thinking skills, or the same type of just complete surface level narrative believing goons that those two guys are. And that's not the conversation that they got into. That's not the debate they had.
No. And it did not go well.
Do you believe that Rob truly believes everything he said last night, or was he speaking to his narrow, defined audience in terms that they would understand?
I don't know Rob well enough to make that determination, to be honest with you. I really don't. My first actual real encounter with the dude was, I think it was on a panel with him for 5 minutes once. Okay.
And you were interacting on Twitter X with him a little bit?
Sort of, but yeah.
Okay, because that's where I started following him and then seeing his streams. And on his streams, it's a lot of solo soliloquies where he's just talking at a more relaxed pace. But now when there's other people on the panel and there's a question and there's a beat and a moment of silence, he filled in every moment of silence with more words. And the more words that came out of his mouth required more words to explain the words he just said, as he was drowning in his own drool because he never stopped to take a breath. And I think someone in our comments was saying he's inward breathing. So he's breathing in as he's seething and speaking, and then continue to speak. So he never ran out of breath because he was always on his shallow breath. But in choir, that's a technique to continue singing and holding and sustaining a note for much longer than absolutely humanly necessary.
Yeah, I mean, hey, let's give him credit. Dude obviously has an expansive lung capacity.
Amazing.
So,
It's
yeah.
amazing. I'm gonna go Jesse Lee Peterson with it. Amazing.
Amazing.
What's up, James?
So
James might come visit with us in a bit if he gets done. If he gets his work done in time.
yeah,
And eat his supper. Remember, you got to eat your vegetables too, James. You got to eat all of it. The broccoli too.
I was trying to get in touch with a Ben Carson. Is that Car? Is the son of a? Who is Ben Carson, and why was his name coming out his mouth so much last night?
Well, he was trying to set up a scenario, and that part of it was not a bad shot in the dark to take. Stop, Bubs, you loudmouth shit.
They were well behaved last night.
They were.
Now they can be rowdy tonight.
Yeah. Everybody's like, you've been debating for days.
Not Billy Carson, Ben.
But what he was trying to do was set up a scenario where he was trying to make it out like you're blaming him because he's a bad guy, but had that Ben Carson, who is basically outside of also being black, probably as opposite from George Floyd as you can get. He's conservative, ran for Republican president one year. He's a doctor, a highly regarded doctor, as a matter of fact.
And when you say regarded, you mean regarded and not a slur word. Actually, highly regarded. Okay.
Yeah. No, I believe that there's procedures that he invented that they use across the country.
Wow.
Like, he's a highly regarded doctor.
Yeah, he's a brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Cuba Gooding Jr. played him in a movie.
I did not know that. I understand that reference. I was like, when you were saying it, I was just like, I don't understand, but
okay.
Yeah. There was it was like in these hands or healing hands or something like that was the name of the movie, and it was about Ben Carson developing some brain surgery technique or something like that. And this is a couple of years before he ran for president.
So I mean, you can see that that's an exact opposite of guy that's running around stealing and hurting people and doing massive amounts of drugs.
There wasn't any interest. It was just the prompt. I think that's what a lot of people are missing. Let me go ahead and explain this real quick.
Right.
The prompt that we were debating last night, it just sort of like half-ass came out of a back and forth between Ben and Martae. And I don't think that they wanted to I think that if given any alternative, they would have taken that. Same with us. It's just that's the prompt that we got. So, like professionals, we went and constructed an argument in order to debate it. And that applies to Rob too. Martae, not so much because he was asleep the entire time. But at least for Rob, he at least came up with, a somewhat. He came up with a strategy.
So Rob felt comfortable.
And the way that it came about was Martae made some post on X. I don't remember exactly what it said, but something about Destiny being quick. I am not a jungle gym dude. That's like the fourth time. Something about Destiny and how horrible they were for society. And I was like, George Floyd, the effect George Floyd had, which if you're going to use the things that other people do because of that person, then you have to measure that against each other equally. So the effects from George Floyd were mass riots you know, blah blah blah. So honestly, I didn't give a shit about the subject. I was just poking at the dude.
Yeah.
I was just, we've been trying to pick fights with Ortho Bros, and he's the only one that's actually responded to the call or showed up for the fight. They most of them have responded, they just don't show up. Chicken shits. But so him and I just kind of give each other shit back and forth. So I was just giving him some shit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you want to debate it?" And it turned into a debate.
Became a real thing.
Yeah,
It really happened.
I mean, it's not like anybody involved feels passion. Well, Rob might feel passionately about Destiny. I kind of got that impression.
Definitely feels passionately about Destiny,
But certainly didn't feel passionate about George Floyd. And you know, the only argument that Martae brought was people made funny memes about George Floyd after he was dead. Well, you're mad at people for making funny memes about Charlie Kirk after he got shot, but you're like celebrating the people who made funny memes about George Floyd when he got fucking, you know, X'd out. Like, I don't even understand why you would incorporate that into your argument, dude. Martae did a terrible job, just across the board, fundamentally terrible job. You're not funny. If you don't like it, or at least if you can't acknowledge the humanity of somebody when you're making fun of them, you're just gonna come off like a dumb fucking fool. And
You have
like
to
that,
love the man so much that you intimately know him to make fun of him in a loving way.
I talk about this a lot on
that they
AM
were
Wake
trying
Up
hard
because
not to acknowledge that in a Howard Stern manner, like when that whole thing with Howard Stern where they're like, how long do the people that like him listen? And they're like 20 minutes. How long do the people that hate him listen? An hour and a half.
yeah,
Like they don't realize how much they are that
yeah.
for Destiny. That
Yeah.
they've got to listen to his every fucking word so that way they can respond to his word. Where when I pulled up Destiny, my wife literally thought it was Mick Foley from wrestling.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
Fucking
no
hilarious.
offense to Mick Foley. Please don't come
No
charge us.
offense to Mick Foley. Please
Yeah.
do not come beat me up.
Yeah. But no, I mean it's one of those things where like okay, dude, I don't know these guys, so I can casually roast them. You know what I mean? It's not like it's not personal, it's not a big deal, nothing like that. If I'm gonna do a character voice, if I'm gonna try to do an impression, it can't be somebody that I hate, because then I'm just gonna look like Alec Baldwin doing Trump on Saturday Night Live, and that was terrible. Like Alec Baldwin hates Trump, and so he did a terrible impression. You know, Shane Gillis doesn't hate Trump, maybe doesn't like a bunch of stuff about him too, doesn't necessarily vocalize it, but he doesn't hate the guy. And so he does a fantastic Trump. When I do Lindsey Graham's voice on the show, I'm not doing Lindsey Graham, I'm doing the substitute teacher from Family Guy. That's the voice that I'm using because I love that character. It's fucking hilarious, and it applies almost perfectly with Lindsey Graham. It really does. I don't like Lindsey Graham. I couldn't do his voice. There's no way.
Jason, I think that was like, I seen my personal chats put that comment up like 12 times, 15 times. Like, who the fuck is Destiny? He's a weird blue-haired, no morals shit that is totally libtarded, and he's big on the internet, and he's jacked himself up to where he says the most outrageous things and gets attention for doing it. Like, it's all bad.
Well, and that's the argument that we kept trying to like drill into their skulls. Sure, man, for the terminally online, for the people who never leave the fucking computer, I'm sure to you, Destiny is very serious and very evil and super important. But when you go out into the real world, like both Ben and I were saying the entire time throughout, nobody is doing anything in Destiny's name. Nobody's committing any crimes for death. Rob tried to multiple times, totally disingenuously, without any fucking evidence, without even a shred of evidence, tried to connect Destiny to Charlie Kirk's assassination because he was desperate and grasping for straws.
That was the lowest point for me, having to hear anything about Charlie Kirk. And Marty's argument was basically Marty, party
You
with
got to
Marty.
do it like Billy Ray Valentine in Trading Places. Trading Places, you got to call him Martae. He's Martae.
Martha was real sleepy last night, and she was crocheting a doily with the words, "It all happens for a reason." And the whole argument was, yeah, George Floyd, it all happens for a reason. And the benefit of the bad things was the government made more laws that are going to benefit people after the fact. So even though so much property was destroyed, looting, windows shattered, neighborhoods burnt to the ground, martial law in the Minneapolis neighborhoods, there was people with paint guns shooting people on their porches saying, curfew, get back in. That was all through June of 2020. And all those terrible things happened during the medical period of our history, where there was a concern about all of this. So on top of that, a group of people left their seclusion. What was the word? Where you stay inside for a while? Quarantine is the word. So during quarantine time, a group of people were allowed to go and stand on bridges to stop traffic. And they all did this in the name of a figure who created effect.
Shit. And he re-lubed your fucking lens. What a slick bastard.
Slick. So slick.
The funniest part of that whole thing, though, was when I think it was Rob. It was let's see.
I think the funniest part of the whole thing was when I told Rob that he talks too fast and that his wife must love him.
Well, the tongue
can't move that fast.
the tongue movement comment was beautiful. That was very well received, and he made it known that he in fact does have a wife. He was very proud of the fact that a guy like him has a wife.
Yes.
So that was good.
And now we know why. It wasn't for his physique.
Well, again.
Well, the funniest part to me was and Rob was just trapped in this one, where he was like, well, you would have to show that, George Floyd, moved more people to vote Democrat. And I was like, well, if you look at the results of that particular election, which happened just a couple of months in the wake of the George Floyd riots.
Oh, wait a second.
The way that it was reported, Joe Biden got more votes than any person singularly in the history of ever always that ran for president.
Yeah,
so you can say there's not a correlation, but this is the point you're making. And using your metrics, I disproved you to the point of the most votes in the history of ever always. Maybe you should shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the election was not even discussed, and that was in the same time frame. There was a lot of things that were not brought up because they were not in favor of the prompt that needed to be argued to the T directly and specifically without any wiggle room, because there was no time to pivot. There was no time to respond to Benjamin and Steve last night. It was Rob running his mouth, losing all of the goodwill that chat had prepared for him. And by the end of the evening, everyone was just very tired of Rob and signed a pledge to never listen to him ever again. So it was a career-ending debate for Rob. I don't know how he'll ever recover from this. He's going to have to not stream anymore.
I don't think that's going to happen.
That was the plateau. It's all downhill from here.
Don't jump on Dad.
The kittens won the debate last night. Fan favorites. Just being likable goes so far. And you two, gosh darn it, were so likable last night. Just wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know why the Ortho Bros are so scared to debate us. Rob, I will give Rob, this wasn't a debate Rob was asking for. And I don't know that it was a prompt that he would have wanted to debate, and he was just helping out. He was just agreeing to help out Martae.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think either of us wanted to necessarily debate based on that prompt. But you do, if somebody's like, hey, you have the opportunity to go on this show and do this, and this is the thing, then you go and you do that thing, and you make your best argument and see what happens.
Yeah. A lot of stuff from a lot of debates on Sarah's show. She got a big panel. Good way to get in and debate other people. And I thought Steve and I made a hell of a showing. I'm not going to be too hard on those guys. I think that they had a losing prompt. There's no way that you can look at the effects that Floyd had on society and that Destiny has on society and compare the two in any way, shape, or form. So I'm not going to be too hard on them. I thought they made creative attempts at making the case. It just and against other people, it might have worked. Against Steve and I, abso-fucking-lutely not. Abso-fucking-lutely not. You guys got zero traction. It went nowhere. They know it. We know it. The day before, I went to the went on the Vibes channel and had a discussion about hell and the origins of hell. I think it started out like great grandma's potato salad from the Midwest with only maybe a little salt and pepper in it.
This is all mayonnaise. Why did they put mayonnaise in the salad?
Yeah, exactly. A little zingy. And I decided that rather than just mayonnaise, that about half an hour, 45 minutes into it, I was tired of the tasteless potato salad. So I chucked some ghost peppers in there.
This was a prior debate, happened Sunday night. We talked about last night, Monday night, the Rob Noir Noir. I'll call him. He's a mysterious guy, Rob Noir, like Picanha. Sunday night was the Bible study, the studying of the Bible by Baptist Vibe, who's also been on our streams here on Tuesday and on Dogface Dudes. Yeah, so Benjamin joined in to offer another perspective, and that perspective was one that caused a certain Beth to get a bee under her bonnet. What was that about, Benjamin?
Ooh. Yeah, she very much has some childhood fantasies of Christianity and no reality into it. And I was just smashing her and she says dumb shit like that there's historical evidence for some of these biblical stories like the Exodus.
I have a question for you.
Except for in Egypt, there's no history of the Exodus. That's only in the Bible.
I have a question. Have you been inside of Israel? Have you been inside of it?
I have not been in Israel. I cannot think of a worse place to be for somebody like me.
You have not
I
seen or
don't
touched the
necessarily know
wall?
that, from the way I understand it, the Hebrews were slaves all over the damn place, and they never really had their own fucking land, so nobody really knows where Israel is, anyways. And the political state that was assigned to an area inside Palestine after World War II is only created and lived by through a playbook that pre-exists. There's nothing prophetic about it. They have the book and they're living it out.
I have been inside one Jew broad once, and I did, touch the back walls, but it was
That seems legit.
not really like memorable.
Did it taste like olives?
No.
No.
Which is, it fits because they stole the olives too.
How did you know what she was then? How could you verify that?
Well, aside from the admission, I guess the only way that I could verify it is that when I pulled out, there was a receipt. Other than that, I'm not really sure.
Was the receipt for you or for her?
It was an invoice, in fact.
Okay.
Yeah.
You both filed and put in your cabinet for later. Okay. Wow. So was that bookkeeping?
Thanks. I'll be here all week.
See, this is how we breathe and we take breath and we allow for margin and space in a conversation.
Yeah, that Beth, she kept wanting to bring up Old Testament things, which is where hell is primarily described and dealt with. And then I kept talking about Jews, and she'd get all mad. And it's like, well, that's their book. They're the ones who wrote that shit. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Cooter hummus.
Yeah, avoid the cooter hummus if you can. Thank you, Jason. I hope Jason is doing well, man. Jason is a hell of a human being, and we love that motherfucker around here.
So not only do we have the best chatters, they have some of the brilliant minds of all internet, of any internet ever, and they're spending time with us. We're very appreciative of that. Great senses of humor all around.
You see this by OG Pavlov's?
Sinai was considered Africa and not Asia. Well, now Sinai is considered Israel.
Africa does make more sense to me.
Because that's where the Golan is, right?
Yeah.
Or is that Ararat, not Sinai? Did I have my geography fucked up?
We'd have to look at maps.
All those people from the Mediterranean are it's bad water, like the natives say. Don't drink that water. Do you see how those people act? They're all fucked up. So I just ignore that area for the most part.
So then when we got to discuss the New Testament just a little bit, they stopped even talking about the Bible at that point when the New Testament scriptures were brought up and the words of Jesus himself on the matter were not something that were supporting the argument for the existence of hell. We discovered that the Bible doesn't talk about hell in the same way that pastors do. For instance, the fire and brimstone sermons that describe sinners who will spend eternity in the lake of fire forever, that's eternity, that rhetoric was backed down upon, saying that there's no biblical basis for this, although it might be justified because the pastors are preaching from the Bible and they're giving a good sermon that will get people into the church and bring them to heaven. So the topic of afterlife was especially difficult to get through.
Yeah, there's a recognition, and they paid lip service to the fact that most iterations of hell that are talked about in today's church are primarily based on like Dante's Inferno, and they paid lip service to it, but I'm the only one that read the book.
Milton's Paradise Lost as well.
Yeah, in Paradise Lost.
So then if you were to bring up the alphabet of Ben Sirah and describe a literature tradition of these extra biblical texts that fill in character gaps that exist in the Bible, then you say, well, the Bible would also be part of that literature. So in understanding hell, we have to understand all of the literature that's discussed it, that have given us our concepts of this idea of an afterlife, where it seems to be the equal and opposite reaction to heaven. So where in heaven is paradise and beautiful, hell is the opposite of that. It's torment, it's suffering, it's a lake of fire, it's a hangnail, it's all of the, it's stepping on a Lego at night trying to get to a refrigerator situation. It's all the things that you don't like in this life will be tormenting you forever in hell. That's the literature.
Well, in Dante's Inferno, whatever sins that you commit, basically, there's like, so it's not just one hell, there's actually two hells. One of them, doesn't seem to be any way out of or retribution for. The other one, it does. So the one, it's for people that, well, but some of the people also aren't bad in it either. Like the first level of that hell is what they call virtuous pagans. So people that were good people and didn't do anything bad, but didn't get on their knees and knob Jesus off or whatever, however that works. And so they still go to hell.
So they follow Christian virtues.
Yeah. And well, it's a weird mix of myth in there, because also, so from what I can tell, like if you ever look at the descriptions of Atlantis, where it's concentric rings of land and then water, this was concentric rings of land and then fire, and then the center is ice. That was interesting. Also, that's interesting also, but that the actual center hell is ice instead of fire.
So heaven being a moderate climate,
heaven's moderate,
quite a tropical island, because moisture would be hell for some people. So heaven is like a Midwestern day with a lakeside breeze, 70 degrees. You can wear a thin jacket and be comfortable. All eternity.
One of my favorite parts about that hell, the Catholic Pope, there's a whole line of popes, and the one that you see is always the most recent pope. So, and then he rotates down to the next pope down. And so every Catholic pope goes to hell in that book. So obviously he wasn't a fucking Catholic, right? And then like a lot of Greek, a lot of your Greek philosophers are in there. They're all mentioned in that. So there's a lot of Greek stuff, including Greek kings are in there. So it's a real, and as far as I can tell, the main hell where people go that did shit that they can't undo, that hell is a mirror of Atlantis. And so then the mountain that's before Atlantis, that basically in this translates. So then the second hell is a mountain, and in that mountain there's apparently softer sins that you can come to regret or repent from or whatever, and then angels or whatever wipe off there's letters on your head, and those letters represent the things that you did that you shouldn't have done, and when you repent from them enough, it wipes that letter off, and apparently even in that hell, they believe that the prayers of the living somehow add more weight to their atonement. So like as they're going through the mountain the whole time, everybody's begging them to pray for them.
We didn't get into heaven at all. So the idea that, when someone dies too young, they go to heaven and they get a halo, they get a golden Cheerio above their head and some angel wings, anthropomorphic white dove wings behind them, pure white feathers, that type of thing. We didn't get into the ridiculous
I do like harps and wings. I would like to have wings. That'd be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And harps are cool, but I like my cock and balls. The meat and potatoes, that's a bad trade. Bad trade.
The androgynous angel thing is a topic we'll have to bring up if we get into what is the actual heaven in terms of Bible describing it, the biblical, the Holy Bible, the canon, not those extra biblical things, not the book of Enoch.
That was not the assignment, Marcus. I am not 100% familiar with it. You might be the one that's going to have to answer your own fucking question. Steve is raised in the Christian church.
My sole basis of understanding for this, though, comes from the 1995 cinematic classic Dogma, where Alan Rickman pulls his pants down and says, "I'm as anatomically correct as a Ken doll." So that's what I assume all angels look like, are in fact just Alan Rickman. Not even that they have any other body type or face or even voice. It's all just solely Alan Rickman.
Now, Steve, you're using the Rob Noir argument where it's a Hollywood movie. Have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? I'm going to make a movie analogy that everyone will understand, like a cool youth pastor. Will you take the red pill tonight or will you take the blue pill tonight? No purple pill options.
If my youth pastor ever addressed me as Neo, I would probably do what I did when I was in youth group, leave, go smoke a joint, and then finger bang the pastor's daughter. Yeah.
Showing.
I was not an exemplary young servant of Christ. I was not.
I was in the sound booth for youth group. It was a nice place in the back, and I was the one queuing up the video clips and hitting play on them. And if it was like a 10-minute thing, we turn the lights out, we sit and watch a movie. That was a nice, relaxing thing where people could just whisper to each other
and feel on a titty. Yeah, like Jesus intended.
And
I think that should be promoted. I think it's great for young men,
on a titty?
Young women to have that carnal knowledge at an early age, because the not making those developmental milestones leads to someone like Rob.
Michael W. Smith makes music for people who want to touch a side boob during worship.
If Martae had gone to youth group as a young man, he wouldn't have to go to youth group as an older man.
Yeah, well, and it is questionable why he is attending youth group services at his advanced age. But, we're not here to judge. We're not.
We can judge a little bit. Let
me help you with your squats. Here's some baby oil.
Where does the baby oil go? How do I apply for the position of baby oil administrator?
Baby oil applier. Can I apply for the position of baby oil applier?
It's like the Dumb and Dumber scene, only it's Martae flexing in the bus door and Marcus standing there with baby oil. Yeah, baby.
See, if we weren't on YouTube, I could pull up the South Park boy band, I want to finger bang my way into your heart video, but we're on YouTube.
Well,
so we can't do that. We can't have any fucking fun. I had another song. You kept calling Martae Martha, so I wanted to pull up the Mojo Nixon and Skid Roper classic Stuff in Martha's Muffin, but I can't because YouTube. We're handicapped here. We're restricted.
Small hats.
It's okay to have a boundary, a box a boundary to know where the lines are, not to cross them.
There's no line with Mojo Nixon. Mojo Nixon proved that.
Mr. Mojo Rising.
This was, in fact, Mr. Mojo Nixon, who also wrote the classic "Tie My Pecker to a Tree." Yeah,
That did need a song.
Tie my pecker to a tree.
to a tree. Tie my pecker to a tree. Yes, that's
Any
correct.
tree?
Yeah. I don't know the chords, but probably play.
Does he clarify the best tree to tie a pecker to? Maybe like one of those maple trees. Tap that maple tree, get some syrup.
I don't think it's discussed specifically in the song, but I would think a skinned birch would be probably your easiest route there.
That sounds indigenous.
You don't want to tie your pecker to a redwood. First of all, most of us can't. I mean, there are plenty of us that are blessed, but even being blessed, getting around a redwood, that's a very painful stretch.
And that shit's rough.
Yeah.
Tony Coriolis!
Very unforgiving bark.
Yeah, a female tree preferably.
Wow. We're talking about hell tonight, and hell was 5 hours of Rob last night for me. I don't know how you guys did it.
I bowed out early so I could get other work done and go to sleep. That's how I did it. I was gonna get mean. There was a threshold that I had reached like an hour and a half into it, and I was like, you know what, dude, you could maybe take the high road. You maybe could. Had Bobby Kelly in my head. You know what, Dad? I had they had that going on. Maybe don't. I remind other people to maybe don't all the time. I should take my own advice. I should. Maybe don't.
The faster Rob was speaking, the higher pitch his voice was coming out, and it was getting into that sort of Iago, the parrot. It was a little bit of a voice actor, sort of for a Disney movie, like a Disney villain sound,
like a chunky Gilbert Gottfried, is what you're saying.
Like Gilbert Gottfried with Burger King two chicken nuggets in his cheeks in case he got hungry. He could swallow them.
Just stores it up for later, like a freaking chipmunk in the winter.
Yes. Like he needed his food pre-chewed and ready to swallow, but he never stopped talking, and he was doing the inward breathing technique where he could filibuster over his benadrylled partner. There was no tag team going on. At some point, Marty just put his hat down over his eyes and took a nap.
Yeah. And yes, handicap by choice. I have found over the years that nobody actually likes it when I fucking throw the gloves off onto the ice and then grab somebody by the jersey and actually pummel them. It comes across as
played hockey. They never played hockey.
Okay. It comes across as bullying is what
they don't even know what pulling your shirt over your head means.
Yeah. The best knot to use when one ties his pecker to a tree, I would imagine a slip knot.
A slip knot?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go full bowling, it's going to be uncomfortable on the pullout.
Rug burn.
Well thought out. Tunnel Mental put it's a bonsai for me. That was smart.
There you go. There you go.
Clever, sir.
Hell yeah, I can wrap it around a tree. Hell yeah, baby girl.
So
come on, get on the pony.
If you guys are still in contact with Rob, get Christy to send him some of that burn cream, because he's going to need a 5-gallon bucket of burn
You guys
cream.
should do that. You guys should. You should go on his YouTube and find like where the P.O. box is or anything like that, And just send him a small
Send
jar
him
of like
burn
wound
banish.
salve, burn balm, something like that.
Yep,
Here
the
you go.
burn banish.
We apologize. We didn't mean to make it that bad.
It didn't start out that bad. So for our listeners who have not experienced the debate yet, we'll put the timestamps in so you can get in, hear the 4 participants' opening lines, and then decide how much more you think you can handle. Because the opening lines were the beginning and the end of the debate.
Yeah.
It was it. It was all laid out there. The middle section of the debate was inconsequential. It didn't go anywhere. It was not advanced. It was Ben Carson, his face on George Floyd's body. Now, continue the argument, boys. What if it was presidential candidate, surgeon of the brain, Ben Carson? No description of Ben Carson.
I even
No
told him
description.
right up front, like, okay, well, if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. What the fuck are we actually talking about here? Like, this is dumb, dude. Why would you say, oh, this is a super smart point that I came up? No, it's not. Everybody here rejects that premise. Move on. I'm not going to move on.
No. This is my point, and it's all I've got.
Dude,
was
you
a
suck.
Gatling
Move.
gun.
Go, dude. Go. Kick rocks. Let
It
your
was
little boy
machine gunning. Rob ran out of ammunition,
right? And
kept
you
firing his
conceded.
gun.
No, none of us actually did that. Shut the fuck up. Well, you said no, we didn't. You're taking that. You're just making shit up, dude. Just stop making shit up. Yeah.
No territory was conceded. You guys stayed in the trenches, played fair, fought fairly, maintained eye
Now that's
contact.
fighting words, Tunnel Mental.
Right. Hockey's a girls' game. Okay.
That's fighting words.
Okay. No. Okay. Fucking.
And I do mean hockey style.
Yeah. Yeah.
That smash into you doing 45 miles an hour on the ice and smack you into the ice and pull your shirt up over your head and use you as a fucking speed bag.
Have you ever actually fought somebody where you got to like grab a fucking shirt and yank it over their head and just because I have. It's like in real life, not even on the ice, not even, okay, maybe I'm gonna get a fucking 5-minute major for this, whatever. But like in real life, dude, people are so confused when you're like, yerk. The fuck? Did you really do that? Yes, I really did that. Yes. Dude,
Yes.
what did you think I was gonna fight fair? That dude's way fucking bigger than me.
When the temperature is cold and people are prepared for it, anything could happen. There were stories of my 4th grade after school, lots of hills. We talked with Danny Katz earlier about some of the experiences and the terms of the games that we played. What did we refer to the game as? Smear. What rhymes with smear? This type of thing. There were handfuls of snow packed down people's pants. You wearing snow pants?
Whitewashing, we called that.
Great. We're gonna chill you out. Forcing people their face in the snow, and then you have people around you burying you in a snow pile. All of these things and more in Minnesota.
Yes.
All the way past March. Sometimes even into June, we still had snow and we still had snowball fights.
Yeah, we're with you, Faber Lignarius.
Linarius. It's a silent G. Linarius.
We're with you. If honestly, if it wasn't for the Ortho Bros, I'd have no idea who Destiny is either. I admitted that last night, though. I said I'm not a political guy. That one's Steve. Martae, offered the debate. We took it. It sounds like a stripper name, yeah. We took the debate. I'm aware of who he is and some of the shady things he's done in his positions. Obviously, most people, if you pay any attention to the mainstream news, are aware of George Floyd and the repercussions of that. So I said, yep. If they would have asked me to fucking take the other side, I would have said nope. But I wouldn't really know who he was either if the Ortho Bros weren't so fixated on him, which perfectly makes Steve's point that he brought up in the argument. Like, you guys are half of his advertising.
Yes. So how many of the viewers of the Destiny tragic saga are people that don't care but tune in to see if there's any interesting drama happening?
100%. That dude is crazy with the drama, and 100% they are tuning in to check said drama out. Get the fuck off my fucking.
And that's the reason for the danger here. A degenerate left dirtbag. They call themselves the dirtbag left. They want to be the most punk rock people they can be. But at some point, when does it become really embarrassing for men to dye their hair and to exclaim their bisexuality to the world and act like a teenager? Like, what are you rebelling against at this point?
At this point, it's just that that's the cool kid crowd in his mind, and that is the crowd. Like, he couldn't get a good conservative woman. And he wants to have degenerate, sexual activities with whoever. And that's what. So this is the crowd that he's in. Dress for work, I guess, right?
Yeah, and the context of getting manic, panic, hair dye from Hot Topic has changed in 20 years. The subcultures, the counterculture, mall goths made fun of in South Park, emos, and now what is left of that? Everybody wears black, dyes their hair a different unnatural color, wears nail polish, right? So now we have Taylor Swift, the goofy white girl who's like conservative princess. She's releasing a new album. Terrible reviews, by the way. Cardi B. Can't beat Cardi B. Taylor Swift isn't even trying.
Well, she doesn't have as nearly as wet of a pussy, I guess.
Or as thick of thighs. That is visibly true. So to be a 35-year-old princess...
I could not have told you that.
Well, Ben Shapiro broke it down for me the other day, explaining who Taylor Swift is and why he's really interested in her.
Pussies are a myth, though.
Oh. Because his sister explained it to him? So, Ben, my breasts are large. Please stop looking at them like that. Also, this is my body. Respect me. I'm your sister. This is how my anatomy works, just in case you need to know. Ben Shapiro. And maybe Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson's daughter, probably explain.
Yeah, this thing's like sandpaper. It's like petting a shark.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Did Ben debate? I don't think so.
That was brought up a few times.
Are you talking about me or Ben? Because he was just talking about
Ben Shapiro or
I'm not sure if I'm asking about me
and Balderson.
I did not, and I don't think Shapiro did, but I could very well be wrong.
They might have shown up on Piers Morgan at the same time, but again, we don't know. We haven't kept up on all these details. We don't have these connection tree diagrams printed on our wall to figure out who is talking to whom and who's beefing with who and what's going on the online debate space.
Well, I'm at the end of the year, so it's my harvest time for all my vegetables and my medical grow, and my dad's here with a backhoe and getting stuff. No, Andrew Wilson agreed to debate me, and then I set reminders, and he never set a date. And then Steve talks shit, and then he's like, "Oh, you're talking shit. I won't debate you now. You ain't debated us in the last year and a half, motherfucker."
So Jay Dyer had complained. Jay Dyer complained that Steve stepping in to give credit to an artist
Not an artist. No. Let's set the whole. Ian Davis
Yeah.
is a published author and award-winning researcher and incomparable UK figurehead in terms of discussing the technocracy and globalism and world banking and stuff like that. And so Jay Dyer knows who Ian Davis is. Jay Dyer is a thief. And he just that's what he's done his entire career is steal, make people think it was his idea because he'll block or get rid of anyone who's like, hey, you didn't come up with that.
Right. Here's the source for that.
That's his whole MO. Jay Dyer has enough creativity to steal and then rip off a bunch of other people's ideas and all that kind of, but he has none of his own creativity. And so he put out an infographic that Ian Davis made explaining the public-private partnership.
And it was the same infographic in the book.
Yeah, which had been published for years. It appears in a printed book. It also appeared online in a number of different publications that Ian made, and other people who cited it and credited Ian for it.
So this is not an internet graphic. It's not a meme. It's not something that has been shared around without, people made changes to it. No, this was the original diagram,
just
unchanged. Copy paste. And you said, wow, I recognize that. This is from this source.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, give him a shout.
So then what happened in the direct messages privately?
He screamed at me.
How dare you?
Some DMs.
How dare you?
What for a meme? You know it's not a meme. Why are you lying to me? Fuck you. And then he blocked me.
Source.
It wasn't on air, so we didn't see the announcement. But Linz is our newest member. Thank you very much,
Thank you, Linz.
Hooray. Hooray, hooray.
Let's see. Do I have anything for this?
Everybody, please let us know what you think of the emojis and if you want us to change stuff around. And we're going to get more stuff on there that's just for you guys. Yeah, these ugly guys again. How goes it, Knights of the Storm?
It's funny that Jason would say that. I was watching the Legion of Skanks podcast, as I am wont to do, and they had Jason Ellis on the show. Not a huge fan of Jason Ellis necessarily, but I'm looking at him. And I'm like, if we shaved Jason Barker from Knights of the Storm, if we shaved him and gave him some non-military tattoos, damned if he wouldn't look just like Jason Ellis. And you're going to call us ugly, my guy? You're going to call us ugly?
He did say he would win the ugly mug competition. He said he would win it.
I sat next to you on a panel. I know what you look like.
Well, there is that issue of open panelists who never turn on their camera, but then they talk a lot. And then there's another category.
Sexy to not be on, to not have the camera on. Like I understand this is the draw right here. This is my bread and butter.
Well, there's another category I need to call out here. The category of men who join the open panel and then say nothing at all with their camera on. They'll hold up objects sometimes. So this is what happened at the end of the Sarah Raging Tomato stream on Monday night, the George Floyd Destiny disaster thing. And all the panelists had dropped out. The one that remained, Benjamin Boulderson. Open panel. Other people cam up. No questions addressed to Benjamin Balderson. No comments addressed to Benjamin Balderson. Rob, the punching bag with holes in him, continued to get poked and prodded, and Benjamin sits there, smiling, basking in his victory.
It seems as though Rob actually hates Destiny. He might actually believe that Destiny is a worse net negative for society.
I know it's real because my Discord server tells me.
His Reddit experience, his lived Reddit experience proved to him actually.
I don't know if anybody in my house has even ever been on Reddit. And honestly, I didn't know what it was until Marcus would talk about it. And then, as per usual, I wonder if Marcus is making things up.
No, Reddit, REDDIT.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the front page of the internet at this point. And
That's
when
what they say.
you search for something, the top searches come from Reddit. They've all been spider crawled and indexed and figured out. So with our boy Rob Noir, Mr. Mystery over there, who spoke so quickly, it sounded like he was going to speak in tongues at some point. An auctioneer with no high-value males in sight to bid on him. No
yeah, with Marcus here, our boy band name is Earth, Wind, and Fryer.
Nice. Yeah. Well done.
That. I like that. I'll write that down. Earth, Wind,
well
Fire.
Done.
Again, I'm here all week. Tip your waitress.
You know, harpsichord is going to sound great. It will be chamber music. Kings of our own castles.
Remember the 21st of September. Yeah. It's a lot like that.
I like that.
Bah.
I like that.
How do you Gregorian chant? I don't know.
Well, you stand in a very open space. You wear nothing except a burlap sack. And then you moan.
God, I hate
not in a sexual way,
music on this show.
Not in a pleasurable way. You just moan in a godly way.
We would like to Bitcoin for our offering of prime flesh, Marcus.
This is happening. We are at our own Renaissance Festival. This is how we celebrate a debate victory. You guys went medieval on his ass. They thought you were a Viking. They didn't know what eras you are from.
Well, recently that TV show came out, so then 100 people jumped on the I'm a Viking bandwagon. Same people that jumped on they also own Sons of Anarchy vest, and I've run out of TV show references.
The trend, they know trends.
Yellowstone, they bought a Yellowstone jacket, and and I was fully into the Germanic heathenism long before Vikings came out. It has nothing to do with it. It was a entertaining show. That was a neat show. Was it anything historical or something you should add if you're going to be actually into the culture of that or into the culture of Germanic heathenism? No. I actually this caused a big fight with Beth because then she tried to Google up an answer. And I knew what answer was coming too, because there's a time period in Northern Europe where basically 3 kings held Northern Europe except for Iceland. And so Google tried saying that's when Christianity started taking over. And no, that's when it finished taking over.
Ben,
It had taken over long. It had fucking infiltrated fully long before that, before the Viking period even started. So the Viking period, it wasn't a bunch of Odinists going to fight a bunch of Christians. It was one tribe of people went and attacked. And also the Romans had done some real nasty things to the Germanics, to the Danes, things like that. So they went and attacked, and then they found out that it was pretty fucking easy to attack these people. So they went and started. So then a bunch of people jumped in and started taking their stuff. Just like any of these big riots on TV that are for political reasons, honestly, most people there rioting aren't there for any political reasons. They're there to riot. They don't really give a shit about any of the political stuff.
just a quick question for
Same thing with, like, he brought
Alderson.
up Braveheart, and it confused me for a minute because I'm like, Braveheart, apparently Mel Gibson hated Robert the Bruce because basically everything Robert the Bruce did, he kind of made that into William Wallace doing and made Robert the Bruce out to be this shitheel. And Robert the Bruce, them two didn't have anything to do with each other. And then when William Wallace was killed at a battle he wasn't at, he didn't go betray him and go on the king's side and all that. And then dismembered him and sent his pieces about. The Scottish people decided to rebel, and Robert the Bruce joined on that rebellion, and then they made the Declaration of Arbroath, and 100, and this is where, like, there's awesome fucking Irish or Scottish folk songs and shit about it, where it's like 100 of the Scots, and then it's as long as there's 100, you know. And it talks about as long as there's 100 Scotsmen, it doesn't matter what the King of England has to say. This country is alive, and we will fight. And they went against the king. They took a piece of their kilt with their tartar with their colors, and they tied it to the bottom of this declaration and sent it to the king and said, "We will fight till there isn't 100 of us left to stand, motherfucker. You are not having our land."
What's under a Scotsman's kilt? A wang?
Lipstick.
A wang.
Some lipstick. Yeah.
And Benjamin, you talked to VYBE about BIBLE, but have you even been to hell?
I was married to this woman for a little while. I did divorce her and crawled my way out, but yes, I have been to hell.
You've been through hell, but have you been to hell?
Yeah, I left a receipt too.
That's important.
I mean, the way that I understood it, hell was a Norse goddess.
Yeah.
And that's who you went and saw when you died, which is where the saying "go to hell" came from. And if she appeared as a crone, then you would pass on into a beneficial. Thank you, babe. A beneficial afterlife. And if she appeared as like a beautiful young maiden, then you were condemned to a much worse afterlife.
She's a daughter of someone? What was she a daughter of?
Well, she was a two-faced bitch, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Well, she was someone's daughter.
Where that really comes in, and Steve's not necessarily wrong. That is in one of the stories, but there's also ones where it basically makes it into like a Persephone type story where she's not just death, she's also life. So she's this young beauty and this dead decaying thing. And so what that is like a seed going into the ground and going through the decay of the old, like an old plant, it decays, the seed goes into the ground, and from there up springs new young life. And so because there's a fairly strong allusions to reincarnation in heathen cosmology. So hell is like a place you go to go restart and go back onto the earth.
Well, let's not tell Beth that. She's not going to like that answer one bit.
Yeah, no, she has her thing from when she was a little kid that she holds in her heart, and if you challenge it, you are gonna get. She was shook. She was shook, and wouldn't quit poking at me. And it was like, even though she was shook, so that's a bad reaction. If you're shook, you should stop poking.
It was like a rash or an allergic reaction.
I could have pointed out to you in like the 300 fucking AD. Where Christianity already had established in Germania, and there was all kinds of activity with it. So by 700, it was the majority of it. By 900, all the kings were Christian, except for Iceland. Like, so
the Christian Empire.
This is what happens when you use AI. And I get that, if I don't know something about a subject, I'll just quick look at the AI thing too. But then it's not good. It's not going to hold in a debate argument, not from somebody who knows his history.
It's not just history, it's context of literature.
As a heathen and somebody that grew up in a Christian society, I also went through the period where more of my thoughts were anti-Christian as opposed to trying to make a life around this other thing that I want that's not Christian. Well, I don't want to be an anti-Christian. I want to be a Germanic heathen and live that life. So some things I have match theirs, but we all go through that anti-Christian phase. So you find out the things like the Exodus is not match any history anywhere. It's only in the Bible. And these people who are known fantastical liars and known to be the person that only a small hat can have his hand in your pocket and call you a thief. They're known to do the nastiest shit and then say you're the one doing it. Well, the biblical history of them claiming that somebody made them slaves, but then they defeated them and took all their stuff and their God won. That sounds like expansion to me after it happens 2 or 3 times. It's no different than the small hats now with Israel. They're like, we're defending ourselves. Then how come Israel's like 10 times or 50 times bigger than it was when in 1947?
Mm-hmm.
You can't keep getting bigger and saying that's defense.
More buffer zones around it. I don't know how that works either. And Beth, again, Vibe did a Bible study. The topic was the literary.
And I understand you're not Jewish, but that's who invented hell in the Bible, and that's who invented the Old Testament where it talks about hell.
Sure. So there's references to Tartarus, Sheol, and they use their concordance and their computer software to find references that were translated to, the Greek word Hades, that sort of thing, Tartarus, Gehenna, Sheol, Sheol, lake of fire. All of these concepts were sort of mentioned, and there's some translations, but really it was the literary tradition that expanded upon the underworld concept. So in comparative religions and other discussions we've had on weaving spiders and other sort of more occult panels, the concept of the underworld, meaning where the sun goes, the moon goes, the stars, they go under the earth, visually they go under, and then they return again. So there's that concept, but then to apply that concept to every other thing, it's not an analog, it's not a one-to-one. It might be used for stochastic biblical terrorism if you want to take your Bible and hit people over the head with it and explain to them that separation from God will send you to hell, and you don't want to be separated from God because that's the worst thing that could happen, because you'd be a godless, heathen, paganist, Odin, like that. Those are all the slurs and the pejoratives in their language. So when we say someone is an ortho bro and they take that as a pejorative, then it's just dishing out what they've dished back to you. It's just, you called us this word and we're calling you an ortho bro, and that's pejorative, and they didn't like that.
Which is hilarious.
It really is. And dude, I mean, in my opening statement of that debate last night, I told them that their entire argument was going to be a leftist stochastic terrorism argument.
What does that mean?
Well, and I defined it in the opening. You know. And then they spent the entire night making an argument from that place. That was their whole point, is that...
Hold on. That was one of two arguments. The other argument was trying to redefine something to pigeonhole it so it only applied to their guy, which is a leftist tactic.
Mm-hmm.
Like redefining racism so it only applies to white people. Like, of course we're the only racist people. Your new definition makes it so we're the only ones that could possibly be.
What about anti-Semitism? As Apple is removing the juice box emoji because it's harmful to use emojis as placeholders for words. Juice box emoji is hate speech. It's being removed in future updates. So if you have grape emojis, put them in chat. If you have juice box emojis, use them while you still got them. There were also pew-pews as emojis. Those have shifted into squirt guns, water pistols, and the emoji language. We're talking back and forth in emoji language. Symbolic references. Words have meaning,
and AI
but
can't
so do
figure
emojis.
that out, so they had to take it out.
No, AI figures that out even faster. AI figures out the codes even faster because there's fewer words. If you are Rob Moore and you speak an entire paragraph with one single breath, followed up by another paragraph, followed up by a third paragraph, Rob gave so many essays when he was given the chance in an opening and said absolutely nothing, did not expand upon his thesis, his hypothesis, and then used words to then explain why he said words before, digging himself into further and further holes, rabbit holes, whatever he wanted to call them. And then the stochastic terrorism argument was resurfaced because he had tilled the soil over and over again. So when stochastic terrorism was brought up again, where did it go?
Nowhere.
Buried it again. Not understanding what stochastic terrorism is, talking around it, evading it, and not addressing it directly is hard, very, very hard to listen to as an audience member. It's like, there it is. Stochastic terrorism. Your response. Marty seems to be asleep. Rob, you are very much awake. You are the most awake person who's ever been awake.
One of you seems like you've taken heroin, and the other one like you've snorted all the cocaine.
Rob was so woke. How woke was he?
Wait, hang on. Will we get dinged for this? Probably.
Who knows? It's worth a ding.
This is Rob. This was his entire debate performance. It's the culmination of everything that he brought to the table, as seen in a 1991 Micro Machines commercial,
The Micro Machine Man here, presenting the genuine, original, colossally collectible, most miniature episodes of the world. Micro Machines. Dramatically detailed, stupendously styled, smaller than a nut, this one or this one. And now with a totally terrific town. The new Micro Machine Super City Toolbox playset. Closed, it's a mild mannered toolbox. Open, it's a Micro Machine USA. Cruise your mini Micro Machine vehicles, planes, and boats to the police station, the marina, the mini motorcycle repair shop, the gas station, the construction office, work, the real working drawbridge, highway, passenger wrapping, garage doors, or take a Micro Machine flying machine in for a landing. Phew, this place has it all. The new
That was his entire debate performance.
He took so long on the onboarding process to put his plane into the air that by the time he landed it, he had never left the tarmac in the first place to travel anywhere. He stayed within his safe place and ensured Marty would not have to fly the friendly skies. They stayed in the terminal. They never boarded the plane to go anywhere.
Oh, fucking
I mean,
You can't
okay,
stick
but
the landing if you don't fly anywhere. You didn't go anywhere.
like, my dude, how are you going to sit here and tell everybody that Destiny is bad when you adopted all of his tactics and his cadence? what are you even doing, dude?
Yes, because we've talked about Destiny having a loose jaw, going side to side, the tongue moving around, going over the teeth, like lots of slurping sounds. It was very disgusting. And this is what we listened to for 5 hours.
That's got to be stronger than I know a lot of people say he's on Adderall, but fuck, that's a meth twitch like I've never seen. Like Adderall, nobody gets that kind of a twitch from Adderall.
If you're boofing it, maybe.
Yeah,
Boofing Adderall.
he might be.
I don't think Rob went to sleep. I think Rob is still awake from the debate. I don't think he's rested yet. Anyone checking on him on the morning? No, Martae's hibernating. He's tucked in. He's sleeping, getting some rest in. Letting those muscles relax. Deep muscle relaxation.
I don't think Beth's probably been asleep either.
Beth has read her Bible backwards and forwards and upside down and used all the gematria. She's used all the Bible codes. She's researched to find out exactly what
does have that recorded, so we will put that out.
The VYBEBIBLESTUDY.
Yeah, he had the Bible study recorded. If you didn't catch it on Vibe's channel, he doesn't have StreamYard, so I didn't know how to restream it. But Mark is going to put it back up. It takes about half an hour, and then or so, and then it gets spicy. That's when I get spicy with it.
Speaking of spicy, tonight's show is brought to you by Chile Habanero sauce from El Yucateco. El Yucateco. That's right, for that extra little bite.
Tapatios.
This is not Tapatio, my boy. No, man.
Tapatio.
Actually, this is the shit. You should travel with this. You should have it on you wherever you go. It is phenomenal.
And
I order it by the 6-pack now.
One of the things that kept it spicy that Christians pretend like they don't ever understand is similar to the way the leftists will casually talk down to conservatives. Christians like to do that to anybody that's not a Christian.
Yeah.
And so they casually like, oh, Odin's a fallen angel and is going to burn forever in the lake of fire, as am I. But I'm not saying anything bad. Yeah, like you're saying that I'm on the evil side, that I'm bad, that I'm going to suffer eternal fire and damnation.
No, the truth.
No, you're not saying anything bad. You know,
capital T truth.
Fuck yourself for.
The capital T truth is only offensive to those who don't accept the truth.
Old El Paso is made in New York City.
I want to play with micro machines for some reason. I don't know what happened. I just those small little toys. Boys and their toys. Shout out to KO Dave, who's got some big action figures. He'd be a fun guy to. I don't know to go over to his house after school and.
Yeah, it's taking candy from babies. That's why they had a hard time with us last night. That's what they're used to debating.
Yeah. You could tell that they just weren't prepared at all for people who didn't have the exact same but ideologically opposite surface level fucking nonsensical arguments that they were presenting.
They had no improvisational tactics prepared ahead of time. There was no audible. There was no John Madden. Are we playing? Oh, the ball is now a soccer ball. Let's handle it differently. They were very orthodox and strict in their prepared talking points. There was no deviation from that mean, and stochastic terrorism hit them by surprise, like a guerrilla attack. They had
no idea what to do with it, and I knew they wouldn't. When I dropped that into the group chat earlier that day, when it hit me that that's exactly what they were going to do, they were going to come at us with
an epiphany,
100% leftist argument that they wouldn't be able to wiggle out of it, and they never could.
That's right. And I 100% believe that is why they will not debate us, and the Ortho Bros won't come debate us and just refuse, because they're so used to debating people that haven't given their worldview any thought, and half the time are freaking very young girls who just go with whatever feels good. Of course you can dominate them in a debate.
I was allowed into an orthodox space on Twitter one time by one Chase Haggard, who thought that I might be a Calvinist. So I thought I might be a Calvinist. And when I approached the sacred Twitter space, they said I had to have a belief system. And if I wasn't a Calvinist, why am I here? And I said, well, I don't understand Orthodox Christianity. I don't understand why Orthodox Christians hate other Christians so much, why they attack other Christians so much, and I have questions to ask. I was told the best thing about Orthodoxy is there are no gays in it. And I
what about being
did
a
not
Lutheran?
say, well,
they like stinky fish. That's the ones I call the Stinky Fish Church.
Lutherans do have potluck dinners serving lutefisk. 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 Yes.
Yeah, I have I've got an F350 that's with a 4-inch lift, and I've been told that my truck should be illegal. Only in California do I get told that, but
all trucks should be illegal unless you are needing a truck. Are you UPS? Are you mailman? Are you CDL driver?
No, but I haul about 10 tons of supplies up the mountain a week. Between the hay and the animal feed and groceries and fuel. That's why I got such a big fucking truck, and I live out on some of the worst roads you could possibly imagine, if you even call them roads. And so I need large tires to get my differential off the ground. So to have large tires, you have to have a lifted truck. So I got a lifted truck with large tires and big old diesel, and I can haul anything I want fucking right up the side of a mountain. So that's where I live.
I forgot to ask Martae last night about
you shouldn't
city
be able
living.
to own a truck unless you can drive a stick, though. I don't think that there should be an automatic.
Yes, you should not have a truck unless you can drive a stick.
Yeah. Like I've got the 6-speed, so it's a 5-speed with a granny in it. And because of where I live, that is amazing. Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. If I throw that fucker into low, what Jake calls first, they call it a 6-speed, but it's really a 5-speed with a granny. But I throw it into first. You can let the clutch out. It don't matter how much weight you got on, what you're towing. You're going straight up the side of a mountain. It don't matter.
Manual transmission.
Yeah, I always get dumb fucks that live in their parents' basement. Joe Cool lives in his car.
You don't
Like,
even live off grid.
I've actually got into that argument on Flo's on Powder Dusty's channel before, because some other dumb shit's like, well, then how are you on the and people always think that that's like some slick gotcha. Then how are you on the internet?
How do you have lights right now? How do you have electricity? How can you call yourself an off-gridder if you aren't camping outside under a
See what
tent?
happens when I shut off this? Whoop,
Oh,
whoop.
oh.
Flashlight.
What's going on there? Where do the lights go? What is a grid? What is a grid? Is that a Tron reference?
Yes, a grid is this thing where when you live where the city is providing you resources, there's this thing called an electrical grid, which you go ahead and just go plug your shit in, and you don't have to have a generator or panels or none of those things. And the same thing with water. You don't have to do anything to receive your water. You don't have to do anything to do any of that. Myself, because we get our water out of a creek like every 3 days. If we want water, I got to go clean my filter on the creek, the very first filter that keeps the big nasty shit from going down into my water tank, and blah blah blah. And if the creek gets too low, I've got to go move it. If it's I got to maintain it, make sure it stays flowed, it doesn't get all kinds of junk in there, make sure the ducks didn't use it for a shit pond. Like, all those kind of things, electrical. And he's like, if you're not living off solar panels, I was like, it was like fucking midnight when he said that to me. I'm like, what fucking sun am I supposed to be getting, you dumb motherfucker? Are you fucking kidding me? Me
You
running
look like a Viking, but you don't live like a Viking.
Run my internet and my TV and my fucking fridge. And then we charge up these batteries with them, so that way when we don't have the power on, we still have lights and shit.
Yeah, that was the only pushback.
Sideswiped in Atlanta at 2:00 in the morning by a new Mustang, passed you on the inside shoulder, hit your camper and kept going. That sucks, man. That sucks. Question for Ben. In Florence, Oregon, camping in the Sweetslaw Forest, road tripping to LA. Without doxing, what part of NorCal are you again? This is from.
Oh, I dox myself all the time, bro. It's okay.
Yeah.
I live in Humboldt. I'm right outside of Garberville. Where I live, I live deep. It takes me 2 hours to get to the grocery store. So I'm so deep out in the mountains. It doesn't ever bother me, the doxing thing. And then also I have I'm a real farm, so I have so many animals. I know if somebody is within 2 miles of my farm before they're there, the animals are staring at them, freaking out. When you get on my farm, you have to contend with 5 pit bulls and Bubba and the angry alpaca who hates you because you are a stranger and a danger. And
unless you're me, in which case Buddy's fine.
They like Steve.
But yeah. So if you're not me, don't show up unannounced.
But yeah, I'm always cool for getting together. But yeah, it's I'm right outside of Garberville. So if you like obviously you like things like that. So the thing that we're closest to is the Avenue of the Giants, where all the giant redwoods are. Super, super nice area. I put up videos of it sometimes. Anytime that I'm going to the store, we stop there. It's our pee spot. We stop there and let the dogs out, and they go pee, and we go pee and smoke
The
couples
preferred terminology is your urination station.
urination station. That is our urination station there in the
Okay.
redwoods.
And it really is a kidney rattler going out of the road from the farm to the paved road. It really is.
Does it help with
It'll
digestion?
rattle your kidneys. Yeah.
All the insides being shook up.
It's 2 miles through the most hellish road, and it's completely confusing. We can't ever get anybody to come up here. None of the delivery companies will come up here. Only they'll go to the post office in town. So, like, if I get something from UPS or something, it goes. Even if you write my physical address, it'll go to the post office.
You're like, no.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. Not that we know that road. We're not going on that road. And you can't just drop it at the freaking end of the road. It'll get fucking stolen in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Arcada's nice. It's nice up there. It's cool.
Arcata is nice. And yeah, they're on the southern end. So if you took the avenue all the way south and it spat you out like by Redway,
yeah,
that's the side of Humboldt that Ben's on.
Yeah, I live on Murder Mountain. When I moved up here, I was a much bigger speaker back then. It was before YouTube started clamping down on all of us and taking away our shows and shit. And so probably 30 or 40 people came up here and helped us move up here, and super neat time. It's a gorgeous area. But fucking
living in a city.
My dad got a backhoe because he wants to run around and do some stuff with a backhoe, and which we greatly appreciate. The backhoe driver, he gets there, he's like, "Isn't this Murder Mountain?" We're like, yeah, it is.
Yep. No, it's funny when you moved there. I think it was the year that Netflix special came out.
Yeah. Yeah, only I would choose to move into that. That's we didn't know, but at the end of the day, that reputation and the thing is that reputation came from when cannabis was fully illegal and they were still getting like $5,000 a pound for it. Stop. Well, he's still getting like $5,000 a pound. Well, you grow fucking 100 pounds at $5,000 a pound. That's $500,000 fucking dollars. And that you bet people will do some real fucked up shit for that. Well, now when it's selling for fucking $200, $300 a pound and it's hard to sell, you end up sitting on half of it until it's rotten, until it's drier and shit, and you sell it for $100 a pound. Well, that's not really worth fucking doing much shit for, right?
And it's going to get even more weird if Trump changes it to a Schedule 3.
What's a Schedule 3?
Schedule 3 is like your over-the-counter stuff.
Oh,
but the regulation for it and the hoops that you have to jump through in order to make it a commercially marketable product are more so than what Schedule 2 drugs have to go through, because they only have to go through pharmaceutical regulation, not statewide and then federal regulation on top of what the pharmaceutical industry demands.
So where is Tylenol on the schedule?
It's in the autism spectrum, apparently.
Like, is that a rainbow?
You know what's funny about that though?
But all of the colors are shades of gray.
Do you remember
indigo?
This was years ago. They used to talk about Tylenol made it so you couldn't have empathy and things like that it made you less emotional. Like, do you guys?
That was the SSRIs.
But
I remember the painkiller thing.
Also,
right, there was this idea that if you had a little ache and pain, you feel it out. Let the body know where it is, concentrate in the area, feel it out. But every time you step on a Lego, stub your toe, I heard women speaking so much about like the pain they go through, and then men would be like, I feel a little discomfort, and then they just take a pill for it. And it was like, unless you absolutely need a painkiller, don't take it. And then somehow we get to the painkiller epidemic. What is that one? Oxy. So now you go from a baby aspirin to an oxy. What's the deal there?
The deal with Oxycontin is people don't realize that when you take, for me anyways, I didn't enjoy the high of it, and I don't see how anybody could. It's a very gross high. It's just anger. Like if you want to take a pill that is pure anger, that's the one. Like you are ready to fucking do some angry, you are the Hulk. But what it did do though is it took away all the aches and pains. And I've been through enough in my life. I have a certain level of aches and pains that I go through every day. I wake up, I'm at that level, and it'll just kind of deteriorate through the day as I'm tired or whatnot. But it's what I'm used to. Well, then the Oxycontin, all of a sudden, it takes away all those pains. And so now all of a sudden, if I don't have Oxycontin, and I only took it for like 4 months, so I'm not like some expert on the Oxycontin addiction. It's when I flew off a motorcycle into a tree and shattered my left side. And I still only took it for 4 months. Where I was having a problem was those aches, when those aches and pains came back, all of a sudden it was like, remember me? And you're like, oh God, that hurts. Oxycontin, you know, and the thing is there's a bunch of aches and pains that I'm going to have for the rest of my fucking life. And if I can't deal with that, then I'm in a lot of trouble, but I can deal with it. So this pill taking them away and then getting them all back at once, that was hard.
Hard for you, but easy to describe.
Similar problem. Steve also operates at a level of pain on a daily basis that most people can't fathom. And so losing all the pain, that's a thing. It's like, woo, this is nice.
Right. I'll tell you what, man, I'd already been through the maybe I have a problem with heroin thing before I had my fall off the roof. Now parts of my leg are missing injury. And so I freaked out in the hospital when I found out that they had me simultaneously on a morphine drip with a fentanyl epidural. And I like yanked the epidural out of me and was like, no, I'll fucking kill you. I'm not leaving here dope sick.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to fucking happen. No, we're not doing this. About a year later, my brother and I got into a particular type of home distilling that is frowned upon by people who used to be referred to as revenuers. And, you know, we had a let's say, contraption.
Revenuer contraption.
Distilling device.
Distillation
my brother's
device.
shed.
Okay.
Where we would make this particular drink. And once upon a time, there's a gentleman who I won't name because he's a upstanding family man now, and I don't want to drag his name through the mud, but I will put his ex-wife's father on blast, who was an old Vietnam vet named Terry. And when Terry came back from Vietnam, there was a particular hillside in the Santa Cruz Mountains that he scattered with actual fucking poppy seeds.
Oh.
Like the real ones from Southeast Asia. And so
heirloom poppy seeds.
Terry and his son-in-law would strafe the poppies and then collect the oud. And there was a night when we're sitting around my buddy's house and we got like a quart jar, and it's just it's sitting there, we're sipping on it, but that's all you can do. It's not like anybody chugging something that comes in at 188 proof, son. You do it if you do it once, and that's it. But we took a much smaller, like an 8-ounce jelly jar or something like that. Poured some off in it. Took a golf ball size of the poppy scraping, threw it in that, shook it up a little bit, threw a little bit of ball of hash in there. And about 45 minutes or an hour later, the whole thing had changed color significantly. And we took just little nips off of the jelly jar. And then all of the sudden, there was like this warm purple glow around absolutely everything. And I had no pain. I had no pain. None. For like the first time in a couple of years. It was all gone.
Was there pleasure? Was there any sensation?
I mean, there was, okay.
Pleasure,
so,
bro.
Euphoria, if not pleasure.
Okay.
You know, the feeling of being like legitimately satisfied with your surroundings, with your overall, you know, all of that shit was gone. It wasn't there anymore. And I looked at my buddy, that Ben met, my other friend Ben. I looked at him and I was like, I understand how they built the railroads.
Ben also was married to Christy.
Yeah, Ben was married to a Christy.
It was Ben, but we have met before, and it was Ben and Christy and Ben and Christy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said to Ben, I said, that's an awesome shirt. And Ben's like, I like yours. And we traded shirts.
Yep. And they touched beards.
Yeah. And we touched beards.
I was thinking like a dimensional portal would open if it happened. Maybe it did.
It did. And
if we
Sydney Sweeney swam through.
I'm sorry. I don't want credit for this one.
Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney swam through the interdimensional portal when you summoned her by saying Euphoria. That is the name of an Israeli television program that was released by HBO to an American audience, in which Sydney Sweeney has great genes and shows them off quite frequently. So the story
is that the one with the no, it's not. No, that was
there is
Utopia. Was that the fucking John Cusack thing or no? No, Euphoria is some horse shit, right?
Euphoria is the HBO show with teenagers in it who have the transgender individual who sleeps over with mulatto Zendaya figure. And it's about these high school kids who are experiencing emotions for the first time. And then they try different substances to approach the euphoria.
Steve, this is why I say he's Argus. Nobody wants to watch that. Not even teenagers want to watch that.
Right.
Marcus, he knows all about it. Nobody else knows what the fuck he's talking about.
He said Euphoria, and I was like, oh, that's a great leftover salmon song.
Salmon. I like fish. More salmon, please.
Mm-hmm.
On my dish.
Marcus knows all of it. He's going to be the new Argus.
Well, this is,
Did you know that there's a surveillance apparatus called Argus?
Argus.
They made it. It's got like 1,000 cameras at once, and it can go down to reading a freaking candy bar wrapper on the pavement from however many mile and a half up in the sky it is.
Enhance. That wasn't a Tom Clancy movie. Very good technology.
Fuck.
Enhance.
So if we want to talk about Hollywood movies with Rob Noer sometime, love to do it. Love to talk about all the Hollywood movies. That would be a great conversation. Swallow your food, floss, brush your teeth, use the restroom a couple times, and empty your mind, empty your bowels, and then Rob Noer, let's have a conversation about all your favorite movies and metaphors about movies. I'm sure Rob knows about Euphoria, the Hollywood show, and has watched all of them with his loving wife together. And the only people watching HBO shows, Sex and the City, all of them, and we're going to talk Game of Thrones. It's coming back, apparently. There's going to be more Game of Thrones spin-off series. So that's on the future. And also Amazon now holds the property to the James Bond series, and the first action has been to remove all guns from James Bond movie posters. So when you go to Amazon Prime and you look for a James Bond movie, all of the guns have been digitally removed. So now you have Pierce Brosnan doing a wanker pose without a gun in his hand. It's like the G.I. Joe action figure grip. All the guns have been digitally removed. I think the next move will be to
Somebody
remove all
needs
the
to
women.
replace it with a shake weight.
Well, this is where shake weights are great options. Yes. Also, Harry Potter has been enhanced with guns, so all the wands have been turned into pew pew sticks, and they emit bullets from them.
Oh, is
Harry
this
Potter with
similar to
guns.
like when remember that Shakespeare where the sword was a gun, you know, and then
Was
everything
that like
got turned
Romeo
into
plus
a gun?
Juliet
Yeah.
with Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh yeah, and Claire Danes, right?
Claire Danes.
Yeah, and
yeah.
they made they tried to make a modern Romeo and Juliet out of it.
Yeah,
When I was in high school, I had a little bit of a crush on Claire Danes.
just a little bit.
A little bit. So we went
Guys in
to
high
New
school, I was
York.
getting pussy.
We went to New York City.
Sure.
My junior year of high school on like
Mhm.
a field trip thing. And they put us all up in a hotel in Manhattan. There were 2 chaperones for I think 15 of us. And we were like, fuck you. We're just going to go run wild on the streets of New York the entire time. We'll show up to the things that we're supposed to show up for, sort of, but we're going to be wasted and we're going to be disruptive.
So you lived your own euphoria without HBO having to serialize it.
I'm at this little like open air market thing in Soho, and I all but bump right into Claire Danes.
Oh, in the flesh?
What?
In the actual flesh. And instead of being like, carve your name in my chest,
What did she
I did one of those like, hi, you know, like a total fucking rube from Indiana, because that's what I was.
What did Claire Danes smell like?
Let's see, peaches and sunshine and happiness. And I don't fucking know,
this
dude.
is
This was a long time ago.
Compared to the
In
streets of
mind.
New York. I mean, there's a distinct difference in smell when she.
Yeah, and she definitely is Claire CIA Danes, man. She did that show Homeland, where Stephen Colbert got super mad at her for starting to talk about the relationship that the CIA had with people who did TV shows and stuff like that.
Was she on My So-Called Life with Jared Leto? I don't remember. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
I didn't have that experience, but Christy did. She met John Denver and had a big old crush on John Denver, and she drove up to him and went, "You're John Denver," and drove away.
So I'm beginning to feel a little bit like a slick dissident kind of
Which I'm
going
sure
on.
he
That.
appreciated, because I think he probably had lost count of who he was, and was like, he was like, "Who
Yeah.
am I?" Oh, that little girl over there said I'm John Denver. That's right. Thank God I'm a country boy.
I see Chris Miners here. I know we kind of started
That was John Denver, right?
Yeah.
John Denver, country boy, slick
Who was
dissident.
not actually a country boy.
Well,
No,
slick-
not at all. He was a hippie that liked to sleep around on his wife and shit a lot.
We'd like to collaborate with Slick Dissident. I feel like I'm weaving a little web tonight.
Well, he
weaving from
called
Euphoria
us
to-
out, but I gotta be honest, I don't know what this means. So I'm not aware of where we got called out. We may have been
and Jets.
Yeah, we may have missed it. I don't know if that was like meet us under the waterfall on the third moon.
It was
of
cryptic.
September.
Yeah.
And we will fight. And
we needed a secret decoder ring to figure out what happened. We might have missed the window, the astrological timing. I do have something here about Claire's, the mall store where people would get pierced flesh.
Oh yeah.
I noticed the store closure. I'd like to read to our value customers. It says, "This Claire's location has been permanently
tell
closed."
Flick when he comes, we expect him to be clothed but not clothed, hungry yet full, and to Speak to us, yet be silent.
Paradoxically speaking, this Claire's location has been permanently closed. The decision reflects both external pressure and internal restructuring. In recent months, repeated attacks of ridicule by radical left agitators have gone beyond mere criticism, escalating into a deliberate effort to destabilize our company. Conduct we recognize as domestic economic terrorism. This is what the letter says. It's
As
printed
long
out.
as it's not
strong
stochastic
word.
terrorism, we're okay. Because
It's
as we
domestic.
learned last night, only words and potential violence are bad. Real world on the ground violence is easily dismissible.
At the same time, our transition under new private equity ownership required difficult financial choices. Protecting the stability of shareholders was prioritized, and this store, along with its local workforce, was deemed expendable in service of that obligation to the shareholders. Despite these challenges, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, no. It's just Claire's was her second job.
Right.
So, yeah, I want to know how many fucking screaming white bitches you shot in the fucking head with the little ear piercing gun.
2400 West Central Road, Hoffman Estates, Illinois, 60192, Claire's Store Incorporated, CBI Distributing Corporation. Despite these challenges, Claire's remains committed to our identity as a traditional American company rooted in values of family and community, where young women go to get flesh pierced and hide it from their dad until they turn
And
18.
large Mexican mothers take their 2-year-old Mexican daughters to get their ears pierced too.
That is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
Yeah.
They
How
gotta
many
stay
how many
relevant.
Mexican babies did you shoot up? Maybe that's a better question. How many tiny
Claire,
screaming
I-
Mexican
I-
children
I-
did you have to like?
I-
Did you have to like
for quite a
hold their
while. She's
head
a
down
manager.
a little bit
So-
and then came in with the gun and the?
New debate prompt dropped. Was Claire's or Hot Topic worse for society?
Oh, well,
I'd have to go with Hot Topic.
I would probably I could find an argument for Claire's, but yeah, it's probably Hot Topic. It probably is.
There was a third store in the mall. I forget the name of it. Was it Spencer's Gifts? With edible underwear?
Spencer's
for
Gifts is
sale?
harmless.
Edible underwear harms someone, surely. Yeast infections?
Maybe if you
Sugar,
have a
fat
gelatin
poison?
allergy. I don't know.
Was it like fruit by the
Do
foot
vegans
bikinis?
get to eat edible underwear? I would think that there's like a horse
Not if
hoof
there's
content in the
gelatin.
jello that would.
Yeah, the horse hooves. Yeah.
You guys need to stop fucking. You guys are dirtying Marcus up with this talk.
I'm not even
He's
reading the chat.
pure. He's
Yeah.
pure.
I never purchased anything from Spencer's. I also did
You
not
don't want
steal
Marcus.
or shoplift.
Don't fucking go leading Marcus
Spencer's.
astray thinking it's okay for him to go into Spencer's. We're gonna lose value.
That's right. That's right. We do need that. We do need that half Bitcoin buy-in before the 2 Bitcoin minimum.
Daddy, where are you?
You guys start having him hang out in Spencer's. Next thing you know, he's trying to eat fucking fruit by the foot on somebody else's crotch. Then he's not worth nothing. Dyeing
That
his
would
hair
be
blue
really.
and wearing
That would
all
be really
black.
weird if you like put fruit by the foot in a pussy and then just ate your way to it. That would be really weird.
Dude, one time, all right, where I'm from, I'm from South Dakota, so
South Dakota has
Yeah.
a lot of fruit by the foot.
it wasn't
pussy
by the
fucking-
foot. So they have a lot of biker parties. Sturgis is just the biggest one, but they have them all over in South Dakota.
That's a big party.
Oh well, they had that one's huge. Well, there's one called the Abate Club Party. It's outside Aberdeen, and they rent they rent this whole lake, so cops can't come in or nothing, and it's fucking wild. They literally roll up with a beer truck, and you can walk up to that beer truck with a 5-gallon bucket and fill up. It doesn't matter. It's free beer for fucking like the event's like 3 or 4 days. Well, they had a skin to win contest, they called it. And I only seen pictures of it. It's the fucked up part because I was so high on mushrooms. I walked with the crowd, and then when I got there, I was turning around and I was looking up at the stars, and there was some girl like 3 feet from my head that shoved so many glow sticks up her vagina that her stomach was glowing.
Wow.
Yeah, I seen the pictures. And I was sitting there like turned around backwards, staring up at the sky, just fucking mushroomed out like a motherfucker.
Wow.
Steve didn't even get to hear about the damn glow sticks. It's the whole point of the story.
2 hours, 3 minutes, glow sticks. We'll play it back.
We probably don't need to clip that.
We don't need to, but we will. All of these things that we thought were new trends are very, very, well, not so old trends. I'm seeing on social media, you know, body modifications. Sure, that they've been a thing for a while. People have modified their bodies with stick and poke tattoos and put objects under the skin so they have different textures and things. On I don't know what platform specifically, I'll blame Snapchat, but there's an advertisement for implants, but then putting LED lights underneath the mammaries so that they do glow. Like,
wouldn't it make them hot though? Isn't that already a problem?
well, the LED lights are cooler. They run a little cooler, so that you could have
fan under there too.
So when someone flashes you, they could actually flash you. There would be light emanating. They could probably have.
They
really
are headlights from like the 80s when everybody used to sell tits headlights.
Right.
That's
all the headlight jokes are probably going to be a hot Halloween costume this year.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
So there's humor in that. So, you know, if you're going to be a stripper, if you're going to be a Destiny, be a fun one, be funny, be entertaining, be more than just your own skin. Have a personality. Rob, have a personality. That was probably the deepest dig that I heard last night. His lack of personality and flexibility and life experience. Which is worse for society? Claire's Hot Topics and or maybe Spencer's in the mall.
Oh fuck.
Wet Seal will also be thrown in there. There were certain women that were taught by their mothers to dress like hussies. I think was it hussy?
Hussies, Jezebels.
There was two types of women in 7th grade: those who had thong underwear and those who didn't. That was a clear dividing line. And those who show their thongs.
I was in when I was in school. They were mostly just granny panties with designs on them.
Whale tails. That's
they got into like the bikini brief, you know, where it wasn't quite so giant when I was in school, but thongs wasn't until I was an adult. I remember the thongs.
That thong, the thong. Timony in chat. Shout out. And Bitcoin Daddy was here. I thought I saw Bitcoin Daddy in chat, but I lost.
I saw Bitcoin Daddy.
You saw Bitcoin Daddy?
I did.
Bunch of hussies.
Yeah. Back when you got all excited because you saw some girl's underwears. Like, oh, look, her underwear are up the crack of her ass. Sexy.
It's a curiosity.
They're called cheekies now. Which one, the thongs or the bikinis?
So VPL or visible panty line.
Christy says it's half in between. She says a cheeky is not quite a thong, but not quite a bikini. It's like having a thong that doesn't go up your butt crack. It does still. Apparently, it still does, but less in your butt crack, less like directly in the butt crack. It's more of like a permanent wedgie.
More fabric for the permanent wedgie.
Because nobody wants a string in their butt.
Some people
seem horribly uncomfortable.
Claire's had
green skipper
accessories. You know, you get that starter piercing. I don't know. Once you get your first piercing, and then you'll get more and more and more, and then you'll get tattoos, and then you'll get STDs, then you'll get DUIs, and all the acronyms and things. It's just all downhill from there. And
tattoos weren't cool yet when I was young. I was the first person I knew that got a tattoo that like I remember I was in high school still because I got it on my 17th birthday. And then I went to wrestle and they made me wrestle in t-shirts because fucking they didn't want my tattoo showing.
oh,
Licorice is also uncomfortable in your ass.
black licorice. How about
Yeah,
those
it's
root
black
beer
licorice
barrels?
with the anus flavored.
George Floyd flavored fentanyl brand licorice. Yeah.
It tastes like fentanyl and fried chicken.
Well, there was the issue of the exhibition of the live execution being a snuff film, but Rob was a gentleman and Martae is a catechumen, so it didn't get into the explicit nature of the snuff film that we all watch, with bended knee genuflecting upon the throat of their Lord and Savior.
And I did miss the thing about the glow sticks. Were the glow sticks inside people? That that the point?
Inside the body.
She jammed her cooter so full of glow sticks their stomach started glowing.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's frightening. And I wouldn't, want anybody I know's daughter to do it, but that's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. She won the contest.
Oh, sure.
There was no contest.
I've seen on the Twitters, like light up titty implants.
Yes,
That's
we
what
went through
Marcus
that
was
topic.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then there's apparently like light up butt plugs too.
Yes, with a sheer dress.
I'm scared to ask a little bit, but what glows? I understand the plug is glowing, but the
part that you would like grab onto to insert or remove, I don't think it's the actual inserted plug part. I think it's just, I guess you call it a handle or something. I don't know what the terminology.
Is this like that putting a jewel on your cat's ass thing?
Yeah. Sort of, except for there's a butt plug attached to it.
And the reels will show a woman walking through Paris, under the Eiffel Tower, and then she'll start twerking and then start glowing. But you'll see it through a transparent dress, so you're not seeing things that would cause it to be removed for nudity, but you're wondering, well, where's the light coming from? There's a flashing, a noose.
We apologize, Linz. We're all children of God. We're just discussing the degeneracy of humanity in a very scornful and disapproving fashion.
Of these things, and like I said, I was
disavow.
And like I said, I was a good boy during the whole jamming or cooter full of glow sticks. I was just high on mushrooms and staring at the stars like a good boy.
I have personally never taken part in the insertion of glow sticks into any orifice, period.
Yeah.
I have been to a couple of pretty weird raves, but
and we're gonna have to do like on that Rick and Morty or where you take the memory out and then put it somewhere else to mark us after the show now. Yeah, there's people that have like little things that they hang over their cats' butts because cats are always walking around showing you their ass, and they put like a little jewel on it to pretty it up because they're offended by cats. Ouch! Oh, that's my nuts.
I know.
Bitch. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, he's okay. He just got my nuts on the way up. Well, yeah, it's not okay.
Intentional.
Don't call him to move anymore. Let settle this for a minute. Just let it settle. Say hi to Bubba, everyone.
Hi, Bubba, everyone.
Hey, Bubba.
He hasn't sat on my lap enough tonight. So
what we're actually doing here is warning people of the dangers of Devil's Night and Halloween, and encouraging the celebration of Jesus-ween and God is Greater parties at churches. Usually they'll park cars, open the trunks, and you go from car to car to receive blessings from your parishioners.
Do not go to the Jesus Ween Festival at the Catholic Church. Avoid that one.
I didn't see anybody put the glow stick stuff on their teeth before, but the funny thing is this ties into Steve's story from earlier. The first time I ever drank an opium drink, I got somebody smuggled it in, a friend of mine, and we covered all the windows with blankets, so it was pitch completely dark in the house, and then broke glow sticks and poked holes in the end and taped them to the ceiling fan and fucking turned it on while we were all fucking gacked out from that opium drink.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucking wild.
Oh, I bet. Had to be great.
Yeah, it was pretty great. Not gonna lie. and dogs rolling dead animals to help so that way your life is miserable. I am fairly sure of that.
Dogs rolling dead shit because they can, and they secretly want you to bathe them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. No, we're not encouraging any of this degenerate behavior.
This is a warning. Now, there is a level of rebellion that some people go through the phase. Some people remain in that rebellious stage for far too long. And this sort of having to experience a bit of a rumspringa to then say, well, that's too far. These are the boundaries. That's too far. Whereas someone like Destiny declares himself to be a degenerate.
We'll chase that fucking bear off.
Wants people to watch his home movies. He shares them to his Discord servers and he puts them in DMs. He what did you think of this? Like, rate my performance, this type of thing. That sort of degenerate behavior. So is that worse for society? Or was George Floyd worse? Well, George Floyd's riding across the globe, across the world.
Marcus already tried to be a Calvinist. He went in there and he was like, I'm a Calvinist. Like, you're not Calvin-y enough for the Calvin Club. He's like, I'm not Calvin-y enough for the Calvin Club. And then they took the video down. Said he can't.
It was audio only.
Audio. My bad. The audio.
They did not show their faces. They were confessing in shame.
They all have freaking crusade night avatars and shit like that.
They were waiting for me to be a Calvinist full of sloppy theology for them to prove to Jay and the other guy, Andrew Wilson, named after a volleyball company, I believe.
That is correct.
Wilson. They wanted to impress their Orthodox peers by trapping a Calvinist slop theology and then defending their own faith. And I was not the person they wanted to debate, but no one else showed up. So they let me in. I spoke, I asked some questions, I got some answers. And, they have some interesting belief structures. Our argument against orthodoxy has to do with the weird people who pull people into weird Twitter spaces without lights on and cameras on, and they're whispering and saying strange things and recording it and wanting to share it with their peers. And it's an terminally online.
We're talking bad about me. The light's not off. Christy had to go make sure the dogs don't have a bear trapped on top of the chicken coop again.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, he's Lickus Bear Fighter now. It's not McLickens, it's Lickus Bear Fighter.
Lickus Bear Fighter versus Timid Grappler, round 1.
Yeah, that Timid Grappler wasn't so timid, but Lickus went out there and fucking chased him on top of the chicken coop and had him treed up on top of the chicken coop.
The boldness of the formerly timid grappler is charted around full moons and Halloweens and Jesus Weens. That sort of period of time starts getting darker at night, just before the frost hits, before the snowfall.
You get that true holy water from the Jesus Ween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
which always just, and I realize that they got this from the Christianity, but it always just reminds me of that Bordello of Blood, that Tales from the Crypt movie, and where they're like, this cross has a little bit of Jesus blood, and it keeps getting refilled with other dudes' bloods.
That's what they told me about the oil.
But a little bit of it's Jesus blood still.
They have this bowl of
It's
oil
like sourdough.
2,000 years old.
Yeah, it's like the mother. It's the mother.
Yeah.
The original drop of oil remains and it multiplies and they keep refilling it. So they have this original barrel of oil somewhere that they keep tapping when they need it and they replenish it. But it's an ongoing, unschismed lineage of unbrokenness. They are the originals of all originality, originating from the original oil that they have. And that's a benefit.
Marcus is like non-Euclidean geometry. There is no explaining it. You can't make a model for it. It just is.
Yeah. No, I mean, clearly, as you can tell from the screen right now, Marcus lives in a pineapple under the sea.
I am SpongeBob No Pants. Bitcoin Daddy, where are you? I need you tonight, Bitcoin Daddy. That could also be a woman.
And pale and porous is he.
Bitcoin Daddy.
We only want 2 of them.
No gender differentiation.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. You are Bitcoin Daddy when you have Bitcoin.
You might be able to get the holy oil for sex lube. I saw that they were handing out the ashes from the red cat from the red heifer. You know the small hats. They're all about their merchandising.
Merchandising. You know, they're gonna merchandise the juice boxes. They love it.
They keep threatening Spaceballs too with the actual spin-off.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
And
has it been released? Has it been filmed?
Come back and just offend the fuck out of everybody.
I don't know.
Destiny and Rob Noor had best get together in their hatred for Mel Brooks, or else this ain't shit.
Right. We're getting more Game of Thrones. We're getting more Spaceballs. We're getting more James Bond with less gun play, less foreplay, and less women, probably. We're getting more Harry Potter, just like the old Harry Potter.
Weird. I didn't watch it. I'm harvesting and my dad's here and we're just doing a lot of work. We're trying to make a duck pond right now. I got a video loaded up of Dad pulling some of the fallen trees out of that area.
The duck pond?
About 30 feet from the chicken coop.
Oh, okay.
In that area that's already kind of.
If you're staying on
the over there,
okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, where it's kind of sloughie, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And them trees are have all died, so they were all falling down, anyways. And they were in like a big pickup stick pile, but being held up by one big tree. So like hell to try and get down. So I cut them, and of course they stayed up in those trees. And then we had Dad yank them out with that backhoe. Yeah, and we're gonna make a duck pond. And then for our medical grow next year, we'll use that duck pond water full of shit for our garden and shit.
All right.
Yeah. Duck shit.
I saw a really neat setup in Sonoma County where they had like rabbit hutches with a mesh floor that dropped into a fish pond. And like, duck pond and whatever. Nice. And then everything from that water went and fed the grow.
That's
so it was like rabbit emulsion and fish emulsion that went into the grow water. And man, dude, those plants were giant.
Yeah,
Rube Goldberg machine.
That's a sweet setup. I want my other project I want to do over the winter here this year is I want to get a worm farm started. That'll so I can
Dude,
add
those
worm casting.
wormtopias that are like 3 feet high that you just load up with coffee grounds and like random
Yeah.
kitchen scraps and
Old
stuff like that.
cardboard.
Oh, they're great, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm
Yeah.
a fan. My brother had one of those. It fucking their whole yard was
Between that and the alpaca shit and the duck water, I think I ought to be really styling.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to add a little extra. Our stuff went so wild this year. We had to over the winter this year. I think what we're gonna do is take tarps and keep the water from washing stuff away, and we're gonna pound it with coffee grounds and eggshells and stuff. I had to CalMag the garden pretty seriously this year. We started getting some end rot, so I had to CalMag it. And I thought we should be good with that, but apparently not.
It's so wet.
Well, it's so fucking wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How wet was it?
Well, let's ask. Fuck, I can't pull her name out. The wet ass pussy chick.
Wetter than Nicki Minaj in the Ho House.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift. It was wetter than Taylor Swift.
I don't even. You know what, dude? I fucking because I guess she apparently dropped a new album because Instagram is making fun of it.
Yes.
And so I've seen a whole bunch of reels where like this is the Taylor Swift album, and it's just unseasoned chicken with like plain macaroni noodles.
Well, Taylor Swift has always been that basic bitch over there. She's always been the blonde-haired, blue-eyed.
I think the difference this time is that like half the songs are about Travis Kelce's dick. Whereas on previous albums, that wasn't the case. But now, like her entire album is like, my husband's a multimillionaire football player with big cock, and yours not, yours isn't.
Which is to
And
say,
like, yeah, that's true. I'm never going to be a professional football player.
She wants to be not a musician anymore. She's tired of dressing up and dancing on stage for you.
I admit I'm not a professional football player, but I don't have to be married to fucking Napoleon Dynamite.
Tim Timoney gets line of the day so far.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
I don't got to be married to that. Could you imagine how fucking annoying and entitled that chick is? I don't know if Rob North's tongue moves fast enough to make that thing happy and shut the fuck up.
My favorite Taylor Swift meme is her like just standing, and it's got Hank Hill holding a level to her ass and her back, and he's like, "Yeah, that's plum." Quail shit is phenomenal fertilizer. All right.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. We got a lot of wild quail out here. I tried. So it's kind of a sad story, but the only quail we had, some guy that was out here, like I said earlier, we had people that came and stayed with us. Well, one of those folks brought button quail with him. He apparently didn't know very much about button quail, and button quail do this thing where they jump up straight up. And so they need to have a cage that's fairly high, because if they do that, they'll kill themselves if the cage isn't high. And he thought some predator had somehow killed him and left him there because he had this cage where the head was too low. Well, only one of them survived. And so I kept that button quail for quite a while. Well, then I felt bad for it, so I ordered it some friends, and it's the only time I ever tried to mail order, and it's when I first got the experience of how horrible the mail is out where I live. And you bet them little quails came dead, so I never did that shit again. But I had a little button quail there.
You had Schrodinger's quails sent to
it
you?
Used to talk to me. Like I figured and it had this whole
Lucky.
Yeah, we called her Lucky because it was the only one that survived, and it depending on what it wanted, it'd do it'd do like a little lilting, like it'd do a like and it was depending on what you wanted.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
So if someone subscribes to the Benjamin Balderson channel and then becomes a member of the Benjamin Balderson channel, are there going to be some private wolf whistle lesson videos that are members only?
Some private what?
Wolf whistle videos where you teach different quail calls and duck calls and Duck Dynasty. You take over the Duck Dynasty with some
Dove
quail.
is the only one that I'm pretty efficient at.
Cuckoo.
I'm pretty good at dove calls.
Cooing sounds.
Yeah, the dove one, you do this.
Ben did a lot of time in prison, so his dove call is "You drop that soap."
I'm thinking of the Minnesota Lottery. The dogs are answering the call.
Yeah, the dogs got it. They're with it. They're like, "Fuck! There's a dove, our mortal enemy."
Well, Thanksgiving is quickly approaching.
My old boss Blue was a turkey caller, like a world champion turkey caller, and a turkey guide. Like they used to fly him out to go do turkey hunts, and he'd call him in. We'd be at work, we'd drive by from his house to load up in Ben Lomond, drive out to this job in like Zayani. And on the way, half the time we pass by a whole bunch of fucking wild turkeys, and we get to the job, and he just and for whatever the fuck it is, and I swear to God, 25 minutes later, he just randomly and fucking within a half an hour, they just start coming up the driveway. Wow. Like he'd call these fuckers to him, and then we're like, oh, we can't even shoot him.
Meet your meat.
The lady that owns this property would get super mad at us if we just slaughtered a bunch of fucking turkeys, knowing goddamn well there's a couple of guns in the truck. Like we could have, it would have been really easy.
Yeah, take one for dinner.
Christy had this little fucking flock of white turkeys, and she called them her protectors because they really would. They'd run around and chase guard. They were her guard turkeys.
Mm-hmm.
And there were these white ones, and I used to walk outside, and when they would sit in front of the porch here and wait for Christy all the time, and I'd walk outside and I'd look at this little fucking flock of white turkeys, and I'd yell, "White power!" They fucking made me laugh so hard.
You can't make jokes like that in Colorado anymore.
2 hours, 30 minutes.
Trust me, I know.
Clip it. Clip it.
Oh fuck, that would make me
send that to Dusty.
White power.
Can we talk a little bit about Dusty for a moment?
I mean, if you want to, it's your show.
How big of a bully Dusty is on some open panels sometimes.
Are you referring to the after panel where
the powdered Dusty? Yes. This situation, which was probably misunderstood by many.
Well, Dusty's taken a position, and he's not wrong that the right is being equally as divisive and crazy. And I brought that up during the debate, even that you can't say that Destiny's rhetoric is extraordinarily detrimental and divisive to society without then also have your whole side, including his boss, Andrew Wilson, going, "This is war." Well, I know what war means. Fucking, I've been to war. Get the fuck out of here.
Stochastic terrorism.
I've been to war, so you can't sit there and call for war with the left and at the same time say that their rhetoric is divisive and harmful to society, which I don't disagree. Their rhetoric is. I don't disagree even. Like calling everybody a Yahtzee, and then calling everybody a fascist, things like that. Well, when the rhetoric just the year before was it's okay to punch a Yahtzee, and then you run around calling everybody Yahtzees. Well, fuck. Like, of course we can see what you're saying, but then in the same token, calling for war with the other side. And the thing is one of the other points that we made was this horrible rhetoric of Destiny's and a lot of other people affiliated with Democrats has actually pushed more people away than when it's garnered. I do agree with Rob where he said it's cauterized the base, or galvanized the base, but it's pushed more away. And this is the thing I've talked about with Steve for years. We're reaching that tipping point where the majority is going to be tired of this minority, because that's what it's becoming. And when they go to move the Overton window back, it's not going to be the 30, 40-year slide that it has been to the left. It's going to go from giantly to the left, whammo, to the right.
Yes, and Marty said that, despite all the property damage and terrible things that happened to small businesses, maybe some of those businesses were black owned. Maybe some were women owned businesses.
Most probably, given the areas that the most destruction happened, it was probably, if not black, at least minority.
Sure.
So we can fairly comfortably say that almost all those businesses were minority owned.
So despite the destruction to privately owned minority businesses, good, honest people in cosmopolitan community that provide interesting foods and spices and whatever they're selling,
we
they're
couldn't
selling.
have rooftop Koreans if they were all black.
Right.
Diversity is our greatest flavorful strength, I think, is what we're saying. We love the cosmopolitan area. We go to the city when we want to eat something that isn't steak and potatoes or whatever taco stand is open in Midwest somewhere. So we go to Minneapolis, we go to St. Paul. Those were the interesting restaurants are. Many
Isn't
of them,
everything a taco stand now? I mean, it's either Asian or tacos. That's the only fucking restaurants left in America, isn't it?
all the steakhouses have closed down. For some reason, there aren't very many up here. I know we probably have to talk to Texas Slim.
Because they've slowly killed off the beef industry. The amount of cows we have in the country, shockingly fucking low. Shockingly,
the demand for beef is high.
Skyrocketed.
Yes.
So this is something that we frequently talk about on AM Wake Up, and have the best person on the planet in Texas Slim with the Beef Initiative to do so. He grew up in the Panhandle, which is, OG cattle country.
Can't do anything else with that land.
Right? We've spent, at this point, Slim and I have spent like 4 years in collaboration, trying to talk about this. And herd levels at halfway through the year are down to the lowest that they've ever been recorded in the U.S. It's a huge problem. There are a lot of people that are
downright unwanted sexual attention-y.
Yeah.
Like when I first moved to California, hay was like $12 or $13 a bale, and I was like, what the fucking fuck? Are you kidding me? What is wrong with you fucking people? Why would you think that a bale of hay is worth $33 a bale right now?
Wow.
Yeah, you go down to the fucking Redway feed, $33 a bale. You know how many bales of fucking hay a cow eats?
Oh, I thought it was decoration for harvest festivals at churches where they celebrate Jesus Ween.
Like one miniature cow goes through 3 bales a week.
They're for hay rides. You put them on a trailer, the people sit on the hay bales,
That's
and they ride around.
$100 a week for one miniature cow. Like, that is unfeasible.
Straw bales and hay bales.
If you don't have a giant piece of land that you have set aside for either heavy grazing all year long, or have enough land that you could set aside hay, how do you make it when it costs you $100 a week to feed a mini cow?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We just got to make sure you got a good deep freeze.
Ain't good on that. That is just a pile of fat on the outside of the meat. Not good marbling.
Yeah. Yeah, Lizzo definitely not grass-fed, grass-finished.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'd have to bale my own hay, and I live out in the mountains. I don't have flats that big that I could even I would have to own like 1,000 acres in order to come up with enough flat land to have spare room to bale hay. So
Yeah.
I've had to be baling on and so it's just a nonsense system. The price of cattle's went up substantially, crazy up, like wildly high.
Oh, at the auction house? Yeah, dude. Yeah. That's a whole different scam. Yeah, I've got like a ground floor education in all of this over the last 4 years because of Slim. And dude, there's so like,
dude,
something that we took an industry that quite literally fed America and helped build it and turned it into this like boutique thing that is damn near impossible for any small family farm to maintain.
Yeah.
It's all in the name of giving it to Brazilian and Chinese manufacturers.
Dude, 375 a hundredweight I saw at the auction house. 375 a hundredweight. Are you fucking serious here right now?
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no processing centers. Like, you've got to ship them 4.5, 6 hours away in order to get them processed.
Yeah, the one in Humboldt closed down.
Mm-hmm. There's a lady in Sonoma County that has a mobile processing center, and she'll come to your ranch, to your farm, process your cow, but you know, it costs.
Oh, this is good for my horror movie. Tell me about the mobile slaughter mobile. It's mobile, it moves around, and the slaughter truck can come to your house and then slaughter you.
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's no different than a deer. It's just a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you know, she probably has the air
refrigerated
gun, the air gun that shoots the little bolt into the
air gun, and 2 Mexicans with sawzalls.
You know, but you just hang it up. The thing that you need is either a very sturdy place with a chain hoist or a forklift. Mm-hmm. Well, depending on how big that steer is or whatever,
maybe a front end loader,
heavy-duty forklift.
Yeah,
I see far too many white-tailed deer prancing around. There's no threat against them. They're just prancing around all over the place,
waiting to come in contact with a Ford Explorer,
just shaking their tails at
crumple
us.
Them new Ford Explorers. That thing and whitetails crumple them new Ford Explorers.
Oh yeah. Well, when I went up,
Jason. That's a secondary issue. That's a downstream issue. Is that they're consolidated to place. That's a secondary issue. The primary issue is that even 40 years ago, every county in America where you raise cattle had its own processing center. Those all went away because mostly liberals were like, I don't want to live by a slaughterhouse. Okay.
Which I actually, for as much as Steve's putting some shitty voice on that, I do get.
I understand
that's
it.
Not just liberals. I personally would never live in a city with a slaughter plant.
I understand it.
To draw the worst people in the world to your city.
But what happened was there was mass consolidation in processing. So in order to accommodate mass consolidation and processing, there was mass consolidation in where people ranched because they didn't want to have to take all of, however many head of cattle, however many hours away to go get it processed.
At one point in time, I was almost paying $8 a gallon for fuel here. $8 a gallon. It ain't taking you long to lose money if you're hauling a herd somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, the amount in time spent rounding, every single head of cattle up that you want to go process, getting them loaded up, and then the hundreds upon hundreds of dollars in fuel that you're just lighting on fire on the road to take it there. Plus, you have to get a hotel room for 2 or 3 days and wait until they're all processed so that you can take it back. Plus, now on your return trip, you have to have somebody else come up with a freezer truck in order to haul it so it stays fresh. So now you're paying fuel costs for 2 separate vehicles. Sure, you're deadheading back to your ranch, but there's the freezer truck. Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, living in a community, you have one sacred cow. You slaughter it, and everyone eats. They bring their different salads, a lot of mayonnaise-based salads, mustard-based salads. There's different categories of salads, but you go to the pig roast, and everyone just feasts on the pig until there's no pig left. That's the efficient way of doing it. If that's what Orthodox bros want to do, they want to compete against Lutheran churches for better potlucks. Slaughter the animal in the morning, and then by noon you have food to eat.
I mean, if they back off on the stinky fish, they got my vote.
Right. I mean, they're probably not doing pig roast because, kosher and pork and whatever, but, beef, goat, quail, turkey, other animals, certainly. I know the big popular thing in the Midwest, especially in Minnesota, are meat raffles. People will go play bingo hoping to win meat prizes. It's very important.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see the rest of this conversation where Ben window breaks as Ben flies through window. That's hilarious.
Timony, we have to scroll up. There's such a small window and a tiny font.
I was rolling my cigarette and I missed it.
That's all right.
I'm hoping... So real quick, dude, because Jason has a good point here. Point was the consolidation. It's about putting the poison crap in them on top of the slice of profits. If you want to avoid that, you can go to beefmaps.com, find a local rancher near you that doesn't put crap into their cattle. You can go to texasslimscuts.com. And those 2 places will at least show you. You don't have to order through them. You don't. But what it will give you is an idea of where ranchers and producers in your community exist. And then you can go and you can have a handshake relationship with the people who grow the food that you're going to put in your body. So if you can't do it yourself, there are people around you that do that, and you almost everyone, at least in America, has the ability within 20 to 30 miles of having a handshake relationship with the people that grow and produce the food that you want to eat. But as long as it's not like
going to make it into your grocery store. The thing is it's not that it's. People actually push for these regulations because people like go and complain. Every asshole that complains that they got salmonella and what every other foodborne disease, they're the ones that get this regulation. We get what we ask for. And the problem is at some point in time, only the big boys can do this regulation. Yeah. It costs so much money to get into the game that only the people who are already pre-existingly rich can get into it. A perfect example of this is the cannabis community in Northern California, or in California at this point. The licensing and requirements are so fucking financially prohibitive to start out with that unless that the big grow that I talk about that's in between me and Garberville, that's owned by the heir of the Sears Roebuck fucking corporation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's people like that are growing. It drives all the mom and pops out of business, and that's all done through regulation. And so, and the thing is most people don't want to drive to the milk farm to get their milk and the cattle farm to get their beef. I understand milk and is from cows also, but you don't usually eat too much milk cow. They're primarily milk cow. Dairy or meat cows are usually meat cows. They don't want to drive to all these places because that's inconvenient. The supermarket is convenient. Not only is the supermarket convenient, the super Walmart's even more convenient. I can get everything I want, my dry goods and my fucking groceries.
This is the current amount of ranchers on beef maps right now.
Look at those beefy dudes. Zoom in on some of them.
Sure.
Wow.
But a lot of people on the East Coast, which is kind of surprising, but in California, and again, these are just people that signed up for this does not represent the total amount of ranchers. It's just the people that signed up through beef maps. But there are plenty. You know, it's not like we're lacking for people who want to deliver decent freaking products.
And the whole thing is this is a mutual relationship, because like myself, because I don't vaccinate my cattle, I don't give them, my cattle aren't grain fed. They straight up no vaccines, no medicines, no nothing. They get minerals and hay. But because of that, I'm not allowed to sell my cattle in a commercial way, because I haven't given them the proper vaccines, haven't done all this other stuff to make sure that they're safe, and did all this other shit. So unless you guys go to people like this and purchase the cattle, they can't sell their beef. So this is what forces them to be small and obscure, because they don't get enough customers. They're like the WNBA. Like, just not enough of a fan base to support the industry. So if you guys want that, you have to actually go get that. You have to actually get your beef from a local provider, and then that will start supporting them. And while you're never going to go get it in a grocery store, you will empower them to start growing and being able to supply you with quality food.
And George Floyd made grocery stores worse for society.
Yeah, fuck the farmers markets. Yeah, that's why I didn't even talk about the farmers markets. Go to the farm. The farmers markets, they're all ran by some fucking queen cunt Karen, and she's out there to force every stupid libtard rule you could imagine, and they charge a freaking ass ton. Like where I'm from, when it comes harvest season, you just see guys on the side of the road in the back of their pickups with fucking vegetables jammed in the back. Like, screw that. Cows are wonderful. We do all need cows.
The farmers market has to get a license and the Chamber of Commerce, and there's so much involved with it. And then they have operating hours too. So they close. They have to be closed by noon if they have a license to be in the parking lot at noon. Then it's got to shut down. It's like, how can you have limited hours on a farmer's market during harvest season when some people don't wake up until afternoon? If you wake up in the afternoon, you miss the farmer's market for the week. What are you going to do?
Wait for all the ladies that grew like 8 tomatoes, and they're like, look, these are 8 perfectly done tomatoes. I want $9 a piece for them. Like, get the fuck out of here, Karen. This is a farmer's market. There ain't no farmers at the farmer's market. It's all Karens that grew fucking 8 tomatoes in their backyard and want a mint for them.
Yeah, fucking dirty pussy ass hairy armpit having hippie bitches that fucking look down their nose at you for showing up to want good food.
Yeah, and they're selling 3D printed dragons and other accessories purchased from China. It's more of a market and less of a food place for farmers to sell directly.
I agree with Hinterlands here that the regenerative movement is promising. 100% there is. And there's really, really, really good people with some measure of influence like Joel Salatin that are pushing this thing super hard at a nationwide level. Then there's people like my friend Slim that are going all over the planet while going state to state to state to develop these handshake relationships and get people who were trying to save their farm by getting in with like Walmart or whatever, going, oh, we've got locally, sustainably harvested, blah, 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 blah. No, that's not what they're doing. They're just buying a brand, yanking all of your cattle and doing whatever the fuck they want to with them after the fact and making you jab them up. So what
they're going to be the new Tyson chicken of cows.
That's what they're trying to do. Well, that's what JBS is trying to do as a Brazilian mega conglomerate. And there's like one skinny motherfucker from, the Texas Panhandle going, no. And I got a bunch of cowboys behind me that are also going, no. So I really I can't say enough kind words.
Like a Bundy standoff.
People were giving me shit last time Slim was on. They're like, oh, you're just doing an infomercial. Fuck yeah. Because you guys haven't fired your grocery store yet.
Not
so I
merely
need to
an
do
infomercial, but
That's
wait,
what I'm talking
there's
about
more.
while you were gone, Steve.
I mean,
you don't support these guys. These guys can't get into the grocery stores. They've made rules against it.
100%. And look, if you have to go into a grocery store, do the perimeter lap. Right? Everything that's on them fucking aisles ain't for you.
Well, they've changed it, Steve. They changed it. So the first thing you see when you walk into grocery-like stores are the quick meals, the prepared stuff that's already wrapped up. And then you get the chocolates and the sugars and the cookies and the breads. So the produce section is shrinking smaller and smaller and smaller.
Yep.
And it's worse and worse quality.
Yep. Really lucky where I live right now. There's a hometown market, family owned and operated since 1929. And fucking, they do not fuck around with what they put on their shelves. They don't. And all of, their meat, all of their poultry, even the very limited amount of seafood that they have, they can tell you the name of the person that raised it, the name of the person that caught it, when it came in, how long it's been there, and fucking everything that's in it before you purchase it. Like, they're really fucking good about that. Shout out to Mill Valley Market. Like, they do shit right.
California is the best place I've ever been in this country for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a really shitty, expensive place to live as far as every other way. And it's shitty expensive for this. These places are not cheap. But the quality of food that we get, that we have available to us up here. And just like I just saw the comment about the Walmart and puking from the Walmart burger. The last time I got Christy, we were broke as fuck. And I got Christy some meat from Winco. And she said, don't even get me that. Like, it's not worth eating. She's too used to getting the Wagyus.
Well, and it doesn't even have to be like Wagyu. It really doesn't. Look.
Well, the Wagyu she gets is also from a small farm that we're getting it direct, and all that shit. So, I mean, it's American Wagyu, I just tease her because it's Wagyu.
I'll fight anybody over this. The best cut of the cow is what they call either the Kansas City steak or the Kansas City cut or the Picanha cut.
How do you spell Picanha?
P-I. She likes the Picanha cut. So I actually got her a full-blood Picanha one, and I think she thought that was the best slice she's ever got.
Hands, there's ribeye, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
In fact, it might have even been aged full-blood Picanha that she got.
New York strip, don't care.
Bitcoin Daddy, I'm slavering for a Picanha cut. If you could give me that Kansas City,
it is, dude. It's the best cut. And look, try it for yourself. No, Colette steaks are different.
Cut
the Colette isn't the Kansas City. It's not the Picanha. Same general area, different slice. Yeah.
Cut it out. The Colette guy, Dave Colette. Didn't he date Alanis Morissette?
Right, he did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here to remind you.
So Taylor Swift as a reaction to Madonna. I want to do a weave with
Yeah.
With word salad people and stick dissident and metaphysical people, all about the metaphysical, Kabbalistic Madonna. She's metaphysical, mystical Madonna, and she's doing a Kabbalah class, apparently. And we need to talk about that, Slick Dissident. I'm looking at you. Chris, let them know. Chris Miner over there. Pass the word on to that bunch. We need to collaborate on what is Madonna doing?
You've been called out, Slick Dissident! Next Tuesday, 6 o'clock, Thunderdome! 2 men enter, 1 man leave!
We have a flat iron. By the way, just because Cisterno knows his cuts to be, yet there's a slight difference in where you cut and how you cut between a picanha and a coulette. You have the same general area from the cow, different cut. Coulette steaks are very good. I'm not trying to shit on them. I'm just saying the picanha is better. But I agree that it's an excellent cut. We have a flat iron in the fridge right now. I'm gonna grill that shit up tomorrow. Hell yeah.
If your organ doesn't lean left or right, then no sexy time for you, Boo Boo Barker is the hashtag. Boo Boo Barker.
Oh, you back up from the mic while yelling?
Yeah, you're supposed to. If you're gonna project, you wanna go ahead and give like
That's
a full
a
head
mic.
length, maybe 2.
That's a black phallus, apparently. That's
No,
covering.
no, dude. We had a
Fading
great
black
flank steak last week. We got a flat iron in the fridge right now that I'm gonna cook up tomorrow.
Everybody, look at the thing. You accidentally saw Christy. Look at the bright light.
Yep. Flash.
Reset.
Okay.
Pull your titties out. Put them back away. Okay. Everyone has been reset.
My wife's titties are not out.
The mystical Madonna, a Kabbalistic thread to untangle.
Her titties were out. I would not be able to concentrate on the show.
She's a ray of light, this Madonna, this virginal, like a
Madonna's
prayer
titties
singer.
were out. I would be puking.
Yes. She's leading a course at the Kabbalah Center.
Even when she was in that weird sexy movie where they tried to do like during the Basic Instinct era when they were making like ultra sexualized racy B&D S&M type things in movies, and they showed her body in that.
Rosie O'Donnell did one of those.
That was the road to Wellville. Calm down.
Rosie O'Donnell wore the
oh god, now I got to do the thing on my own head to get that out.
So if you take a flank steak, Tom, and you slice it in half long ways, it turns into a skirt steak, basically.
Skirt steak.
Because your flank steaks are about like 1.5 inch thick. Slice them long ways, and then you've got 4 giant pieces of skirt steak.
When are you coming up here to cook some meat and teach me things?
Yeah, that's the shitter for Christy. She doesn't know how to cook very well on the meat, and then she's the one who eats the meat.
So we'll get a mobile processing center vehicle. We will drive
I'm
it.
a vegetarian. I ain't cooking your meat.
Christy, almost everything in a cast iron, as long as you get it super hot and throw a little avocado oil, almost every cook time is between 4.5 to 5 minutes aside. Flip that shit and then tint it under some foil or something like that for about 4 or 5 more minutes.
Foil in our house?
A lid works well.
Yeah, tint it. Just any sort of covering over
it. Let it continue to cook.
We used it all up on our hats. He wasn't even talking. That was Marcus.
Avocado oil.
Fucking steaks. He only eats fish out of a bag.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. If it doesn't come in a can and say pickled herring, Marcus doesn't care.
In a jar. I prefer pickled herring from a glass jar.
Okay, well that's fair, but you're a snob.
Sometimes it comes in a party bucket. It's the red bucket. I like the square size because it fits in the refrigerator tray. Just so if it's a circle, it takes up less space. So it's more efficient to be a square bucket to put the herring in the party bucket. Pickled herring. I saw on the shelf
pickled party
eggnog.
bucket.
Eggnog. Are you guys ready for eggnog season?
Actually,
No.
the Strauss dairy company up here, which is just a small local dairy, it is. You keep it.
Strauss Farm is awesome. They do fantastic. Yeah.
Freaking the Strauss is just this, and their products are just amazing, and they put out an eggnog that is really fucking good.
Dude, their heavy whipping cream, the Strauss Farm for your coffee. Oh, dude, fuck it, forget about it. Oh, it's phenomenal. Yeah,
dude, like Strauss, if you leave it out and you forget about it for a few days, it turns into cheese. It doesn't turn into rot.
Yeah,
you're like,
I left my thin mint whippets out of the refrigerator. I hope it doesn't turn into chocolate cheese mush.
Dude, and Strauss ice cream, holy fuck. We take Strauss. I like to get Strauss chocolate milk and fucking pour it over Strauss ice cream and make a little milkshake with it, like some cookies and cream, Strauss ice cream. Holy fuck, that is so good. So good.
Cookies and cream is a non-racist way to describe an Oreo, by the way. It's the same flavor.
Yeah. I didn't like eggnog either until I tried Strauss's eggnog. And this dairy company is hands down better than any other dairy company I've ever fucking dealt with.
What we're talking about tonight is the original version of the thing tastes so much better than the lowest price. What's the word? It not intimidates. It imitates the imitation product. The imitation product that is labeled as eggnog is an eggnog-like product, but it might not contain egg or nog, but together it resembles that. I was trying to pull out an example from the other day where I purchased something. Oh, poutine. I went to a restaurant, I saw poutine on the menu, and against my better judgment, I just said, I will take the poutine. When I received the poutine, it had some ingredients of poutine, which is sliced potato, cheese curd, and a gravy. It contained all three ingredients, but they were frozen and breaded cheese curds, overcooked, French fries from the Cisco truck, from a bag, and then gravy from a can poured over it. So it resembled poutine with the ingredients. It was an imitation of poutine, but it was not the poutine experience, certainly. But it was poutine on the menu, and I ordered poutine. I got poutine. It wasn't the poutine I imagined.
But it was the poutine you got.
The poutine I got.
Yeah. And that's a life lesson, kids. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not the poutine you imagine. It's the poutine you get.
It's the poutine you get.
So you might as well put it in your mouth.
Put it in my mouth. Bitcoin Daddy, where are you? You were in chat earlier.
Well, it's been 3 hours, gents. I don't know about you, but I have shit to do.
I've been properly debriefed. So we discussed 2 debates that happened on a Sunday night and a Monday night. We called out some other people tonight to maybe debate another Tuesday night. Madonna, Kabbalah, Tron movie, whatever topic. Pick a topic, just show up and let's talk about it on a Tuesday night. The return to the more deliberation format, perhaps less of the actual debate, as people seem to be frightened of you two gentlemen, not wanting
I
to
was going to
engage.
say, I don't imagine that we're going to be getting many invites from that.
Right.
However, I do think we're both going to be welcomed back on the Sarah Tomato program.
Yes,
for sure.
We were gentlemen, and we were scholars, and we brought the funny, and we didn't make the whole thing devolve into a pitchier and pitchier screaming match where nobody actually got a word in.
Rob started out as like maybe a treble voice and ended up as what's higher than soprano?
Mezzo.
Mezzo
Right? Mezzo
soprano.
soprano? Was
You
that
know,
the higher one? I can't remember.
there were some choir comments in chat. I appreciated those who showed up and supported our dog in chat. That was wonderful. I don't see that. Well, okay, we could probably review Rob's channel. Maybe, you could go over to Rob's channel, his stream of the debate from Monday night. Probably don't want to argue with whatever people support him. There's no change in their minds, but certainly go to the Raging Tomato and bomb that comment section with love and affection for the dogs.
Right? If you love your dogs, if you're down for your dogs, if you're here for your dogs,
Yeah,
go bark for your dogs.
let them know.
We're going to try and get more debates set up. Some of these side debates, depending on what they are, we're going to put in the members only, and it's going to be for folks like
Lynn's. Did Lynn subscribe tonight?
Yep, Lynn showed up tonight, and
Stella Moon.
It wasn't while we were on air, but like Lynn's and Stella and James Maiden, and Tony Coriolis. So we're gonna put some of those on there because we're gonna start. That's one of the big things, and part of why Steve and I took that debate was just to start getting our name in the hat. That's the first big fight, honestly. And we needed more low-level debates because no matter how good a speaker Steve and I were prior to this, speaking is entirely different than debating.
Yeah.
It's got a different tempo. It's got a different way you present things. When you guys watched the debate, we had 4-minute openers. There's 4 speakers, plus the moderator is going to speak some, and there's going to be some transfer time. So 4 times 4 is 16. You've already lost 25 minutes effectively out of a 2-hour debate just by that. And if you do a second round, you're already, most of the debate is gone. So you've got 4 minutes to try and do what Steve and I normally would have did in a 1 to 3 hour show, and had the time to really get out the nuance on your points. Where here you've got to truncate it down. You've got to look at how brilliant fucking Steve's opener was. That's taking your points and shredding them down to the very bare minimum and finding the things that really hit. Is it a nuanced way to do it in a complete picture of things? No. But it can't be. It can't be in that duration that you have to do it. So it's a different way than Steve and I and Marcus are used to speaking. So we need some lower level debates out the gate, just because we might even be, I can feel all day, especially when you get to these better debaters like Andrew Wilson. Absolutely. I feel like I can defeat him in a debate. And that's fine. And I'm sure most people do. We all feel like we'd be good at whatever sport we're watching on TV. Also, if you don't go try it out a couple times, you could think jujitsu is easy until somebody has you tied in a pretzel and crying. So
that sounds fun. Where do I sign up?
A few times.
Tie me up like a pretzel Bitcoin daddy.
There's plenty of bars in Minneapolis.
Cover me in mustard.
There are.
So go back and watch. We have the debate aired on, and Steve put it on his Rumble, and it was on my YouTube. The debate from last night. I think that there wasn't much pressure applied to us, so it wasn't a complete test. But Steve and I think, did very well on the technical aspect of debating. And then Marcus is going to get the debate from Vibe's channel if you haven't seen it over there, and if not, go check out Vibe. Vibe's been on the channel. He's a great guy.
I should pull that link and find it for you guys.
How many Bitcoins to tie you up to guarantee that? You better go with 3, because I don't know if somebody else might come at the 2. And now we're talking bidding war. You better probably put in the 3 Bitcoins.
That's going to be important.
And then at that, then it's not our business anymore. Our only place, and it'll be talking about it on the after show.
Real quick before we bounce, Sunday, while Ben was debating religion with, I don't know, some bitch named Beth, I was on the Grand Theft World podcast. Richard Grove asked me a very specific question about like the comedy on AM Wake Up, and I did say that my Wednesday co-host tomorrow morning, T. Snyder, is a much more serious and intellectual individual, and so the comedy that normally occurs Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday doesn't necessarily occur on Wednesday, but it is a fascinating, enlightening, and invigorating conversation. Tease yes, please do that. Yes, please. Tease got very, very torqued about this. Sent me a text message all in real time saying, I demand that you make the thumbnail for Wednesday's show say only comedy allowed. So apparently Tease is going to attempt to bring the funny tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But I did create a thumbnail today that I hope reflects this.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, in that it is
There will be
a
fans.
more or less direct ripoff of the OnlyFans logo font, except for I inverted
I
the
would
rock.
not have known that. I actually did not get the joke until again, like that joke the
Okay.
other day that you explained. I'm like, oh,
That's an emoji. There's a face on that lock.
Well, if you Google the, if you Google the image for the OnlyFans logo, it is a lock. I inverted it. I turned it into a smiley face. The background for it, hang on, not done. Background for it is from an advertisement for the Riyadh Comedy Festival, where all of the Saudi Arabian head choppers paid a bunch of freaking millionaire hacks to go do stand up in front of them and their, waving scimitars or whatever you do when you go to Saudi Arabia.
There's got to be a crossover on that and comedians and how close comedians are to UFC fighters, and UFC fighters also regularly going over to entertain same said people.
So I sent it to Tease and he was like, no, I hate it. Do better. I'm like, no, dude.
If you laugh, you lose on Wednesday morning.
I'm sorry, dude. It's done. If you want me to do better, we're gonna have to find somebody to pay me. I'm doing this on my own time.
That's
I didn't
a
even look
wonderful
up
invitation.
the OnlyFans logo because I'm scared to. Because there's been times that Marcus said something and I looked it up, and then I have porn on my phone for
just
the
don't
next
look
week.
up Lemon Party and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then once you do make that mistake, it's not like the mistake is
Well, you have to
over.
be
You're not
keyword
just like,
specific.
oh my God.
So when I looked it up,
Like
I
the
typed
next
in
week also.
OnlyFans logo and then hit the image search, and
With
it gave
safe
me
search on.
all of that. Because it's a pay to play for, I don't know, random whores thing. They don't actually put the random whores into the Googles when you look it up. They only give you the logo, which I felt was incredibly safe, and did not feel like I would be violating any of the covenants of my own relationship or my own morality. Yeah.
What's that cut of meat? Pecan?
Picanha, Pichana, Picanha.
Yeah, I think Christy got this one that was like 20 days aged and then also full blood.
Yeah.
And she said that it was the best piece of meat she's ever
Oh,
had.
so good. So good.
Yeah, that aging makes it much softer. And she got her teeth are bad, so that's an important factor for her.
There's a spot in San Francisco called the House of Prime Rib. and that's basically all they do.
Does Destiny
And
dance there?
everything they're putting on your table, at least 30 to 35 days aged,
Wow.
full blood, absolutely. I mean, dude, you put it on your tongue and it dissolves like it's a fucking hit of acid. It is
I don't know about the
beautiful. Oh,
butter.
She said like butter. She doesn't know about the acid part.
oh, dude, House Prime Rib is the shit. I used to work with a guy who, before he moved down to the Santa Cruz Mountains, had managed there and left on very good terms with the owner and all that kind of shit. The owner used to call him every year during Fleet Week. Hey, Dylan, come up and hang out in my fucking apartment. We can watch the Blue Angels fly by and all that kind of shit. You know, like very nice fella. And so a couple of times a year while I was working with him, we would go up there and just, you know, grab dinner, shit, fucking hang out. David Byrne from the Talking Heads. That's his favorite restaurant.
Burning down the house.
Sitting at the bar, we shared a meal on a couple of different occasions, sat like a seat away from David Byrne and just, you know, had a general casual conversation with this totally weird, enigmatic, fucking super genius musician. And nobody really was like, oh my God, you're David Byrne, you know, because what's he going to be like? Oh my God, you guys are a bunch of fucking derelict carpenters. You know, why are you here? No, we were just, you know, hanging out and like sharing a meal together. Really cool. Really cool.
Kurt Hennig used to gamble at Mystic Lake Casino. And when I was young, he liked playing blackjack there. And as long as you didn't act like an asshole, he was cool with hanging out with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, you know, pretty par for the course for most people. You don't act like an asshole. Most people are okay with hanging out with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had numerous more famous friends, and it's the same thing because I don't get all worked up because they're famous. Like,
yeah,
you're good at your job. So's Bob over there. You know, like
Bob the Builder, the guy from Nickelodeon, the animated thing. Bob, you know Bob the Builder?
We can build it. Yes, we
do.
can.
Do you know Dora the Explorer too?
My daughter, my youngest daughter, was very much into Dora the Explorer, and then her brother.
And Ben was like, "We're not having any illegals in my house. Get this shit off my TV."
It's amazing. It's amazing the cultural references.
I said you need to explore your own country, you little bitch. What?
Dude, I think Ben knows more Yu-Gi-Oh cards than I do, so he's got that on me.
I definitely. Some guy on that panel that the other night was like, what? Because I called it out. I seen his little icon was a picture of the inside of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. And yeah, I played Yu-Gi-Oh with my son for a number of years, and just like when he I never played the Pokemon one, but I seen it and I watched his cartoons with him and shit, and so yeah, I know like most of the Pokemon. It's just I got a good memory.
It's just the unpredictability of the topics that you're able to discuss is so overwhelming to some people. Those people that tend to stick to their scripts and they can't veer out of the lanes and go off road and explore the territory. The point of the deliberations and the debates has been to get into exploratory mode and get out of the.
Well, like Steve said, that was Steve's point though. That these fuckers are just chronically online, and the online world and online drama is what they've made into their world, when all reality, if I walked downtown Garberville, 99 out of 100 people would have no idea who Destiny was. And that one person would think that it was a stripper that had stopped down at the local strip club, you know, a couple months ago.
Yeah. No, they're all just, they're so locked into the unreal world they created that they can't leave it. But I got to drop out. You guys are more than welcome to go on as long as you want to.
We're good.
We're gonna close it too.
This is our third day of content in a row.
It's
so
a lot of
Marcus
content.
got to get the first day out, but he'll get it out, guys.
Someone's asking
In
for
fact-
the
In
link
fact,
for an open
for the
panel.
members, it will be out first. When he puts it out, we'll make it members only first. And
Yeah, we should be able to
gotta
do
do that for the members, I think. Probably make it for members only for a week. And then
Yeah, we could plan to do that on a Tuesday night where we open the panel up to anyone who wants to join our StreamYard. That would be all right.
you want to do that like maybe once every month or 6 weeks or something?
Sure.
I think so long as we're able to announce it ahead of time so people are able to shower, floss, brush their teeth, swallow all the food in their cheeks, Rob Knorr, and Martae can make sure that he's not
storing
taking
it up for the
wrong
winter.
medication. You know,
That's
I
important
understand.
for him. It's
I
his survival.
understand. I understand. You know, as far as how handicap accessible will make the chat, I don't know how we'll have to tailor that to everyone's special needs according to their purpose. But we will let you know when the room is open. I don't think next week, but maybe a Halloween party. You guys want to have a costume contest and everyone can dress up and have crazy costumes on camera? Maybe that'll be
I'll
fun.
tell you what,
Really
whoever comes in as Laura Loomer as Jigsaw
Ooh,
gets a free AM Wake Up t-shirt.
okay, there's the challenge. There it is. We'll check the calendar to see.
No.
So we know that Halloween's on a Friday. Let's say Tuesday 28th before Halloween,
Okay.
because the one after that is Election Day, and that'll be a different Tuesday topic. So costume contest, open panel, 28th. That'll be our Tuesday event.
There you go. There you go.
Crypto Daddy, it sounds like we're already giving you enough. You need to start throwing some Bitcoins anyways.
It's true. It's true. If you are the crypto daddy, cough up
Yeah.
them Bitcoins.
At 2 a.m., I have certain expectations for
Or at
Bitcoin
least
Daddy.
buy a bunch of the independent media token because that helps everybody.
Thank you, Great White Pope. Thank you, Ryan Bradley, Knights of the
Thank you,
Storm.
brother.
Thank
Love you guys.
Linz, Stella Moon,
We is
James
out.
Baden, Tony Coriolis.
Yep. Take care, folks. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next week.